Had to lay her down, Hoss. Grass clippings. Twisty, how are you? Are you alive out there in internet land? Are you alive out there in internet land, Twisty? Can you hear me? Grass clippings. Hey yo, what up? Welcome back. I'm here to talk about socks. Different types of socks. I'll be right back. It's time to bug the old cat. You love me, Squishy. Yes, yes, yes. Every night. Every time to pet the squish. Go wake her up out of bed. Come on, old cat. Time to get pet. I think he likes to sniffle on the weed shit too. It helps her old bone. He just looks so happy. I'm like, what the fuck, cat, please. You're an addict. It's okay. Oh, good God. Good God. Had to lay her down. 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 Man, I can't even remember what groupie I character. How to unlock and I just hit enter. Lost, forgotten. Preach.
That can be unlocked. What's up, guys? It's Preets coming to you with a new Binding of Isaac video. Today I'm going to explain how to unlock every character in the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. The first three characters I want to talk about are the Lost, the Forgotten, and the Keeper, because they are the three hardest to unlock in the game. To start off this video, I'm going to explain how to unlock the Lost. The first step to unlocking the Lost is to defeat the Lamb with Isaac. In order to do this, you have to have the negative unlocked by beating Satan 5 times. This requires you to take the trap door in the Devil Room after defeating Mom's heart and beating Satan, or after unlocking It Lives by defeating Mom's heart 11 times and taking the trap door at the end of the It Lives fight, and then beating Satan. Once you have the negative unlocked, you can take the negative with Isaac, go through Sheol, and beat Satan. Then beat the Lamb. This unlocks the item Missing Poster. Next, you need to jump into a run with any character. However, Isaac is the easiest if you have the D6 unlocked for him, which requires you to beat Blue Baby with Isaac. This may take a good amount of attempts, as you need to find the Missing Poster trinket during your run. The best method to find the Missing Poster is to get Mom's box in the store. As you can see in my game, I was able to perform a game break and get the poster out of the box. You can also get lucky and find the missing poster without the box. Now that you have the missing poster, you need to find a sacrifice room. Once in the sacrifice room, you simply have to kill your character. However, be cautious, as the sacrifice room has specific payouts for each sacrifice. The important ones to know are: on the 8th sacrifice, 6 troll bombs spawn; on the 9th sacrifice, Uriel will spawn; on the 11th sacrifice, Gabriel will spawn; and finally on the 12th, you will teleport to Dark Room. If you die in any other way than using the sacrifice spikes, you will not unlock the Lost. The best method to use the sacrifice room is to inflict damage by either bombing yourself, touching fire, touching non-sacrifice room spikes, or letting enemies hit you until you are on a heart or 2 of health. This ensures you don't accidentally kill yourself in the wrong way. After you die, you should see a paper pop up that says that you have unlocked the Lost and your character will respawn. The rest of the run does not affect the Lost unlock. You have officially unlocked the Lost. The Lost starts with the D4 if you have the D4 unlocked, which is done by blowing up 30 arcade machines. But, more importantly, the Lost is the Holy Mantle if you have donated 879 coins to the Greed donation machine. The next character is the Forgotten. For the Forgotten unlock, you're going to want to use a strong character that you're comfortable playing fast as. Personally, I chose Azazel because he has flying and brimstone. The first step is starting a run and beating the first floor's boss in under a minute. You will know you successfully did this if you hear Mom yell and then hear footsteps. For this next step, you need a bomb. If you don't have a bomb, you have 3 options. 1. Buy a bomb in the shop. 2. Use the sacrifice spikes once. Or 3. Restart the run. The sacrifice room will only drop a bomb on the first sacrifice if you beat the boss in under 1 minute. You will then need to head back to the starting room, where you'll see a large strange shadow on the floor of the room. You can place a bomb anywhere in the room, which will cause a broken shovel to fall on the floor. Once you touch it, the item goes into your active item spot. You are now going to be bombarded by 2 of Mom's feet for the rest of your run. Pray you get Host Hat or Pyromaniac. It is important that you do not switch the shovel out with another active item. If you do, nothing bad will happen, but if you leave the room with a different active item, the shovel will disappear. Now you need to get to the Mom fight and beat Boss Rush for the next step. The step is straightforward because all you have to do is make it to the Mom fight. The usual 20-minute time limit does not affect you for getting the door to Boss Rush to open. Once you beat Mom, the game will not let you do anything other than a Devil or Angel room and Boss Rush. The trapdoor to the room is closed. Once you're in the Boss Rush, you can take any of the items. Now you need to beat the Boss Rush. It is important that for both the Mom fight and Boss Rush that you have the shovel in your active item slot at the end of the fight. This is only important if you bought the backpack. Once you beat Boss Rush, the second half of the shovel will be your Boss Rush reward. Once you pick it up, you will have the whole shovel and the feet will stop stomping. The final step is to go to Dark Room, which is hard to mess up because the game only lets you pick up the negative and then makes you go to Sheol. Once in Dark Room, you're going to have to navigate the floor until you find a room with a grave in it. Walk on top of the grave and use the shovel. You will see the soul fly up off the screen. It is important you wait for the soul to leave the screen entirely. You will see a page pop up on the screen and say "Forgotten Unlocked"
It's not a one.
until you find a room with a grave in it. Walk on top of the grave and use the back of that. We'll stop. The final step is to go to Dark Room, which is hard to mess up because the game only lets you pick up the negative and then makes you go to shoot it. Once in Dark Room, you're going to have to navigate the floor until you find a room with a grave in it. Walk on top of the grave and use the shovel. You will see the soul fly up off the screen. It is important you wait for the soul to leave the screen entirely. You will see a page pop up on the screen and say "Forgotten Unlocked." You officially unlocked the Forgotten. The Forgotten does not have any starting items that can be unlocked. The next character is the Keeper. At the beginning of the video, I said the Keeper is one of the 3 hardest to unlock. The reason for this is not because you have to do any series of complicated or challenging steps. All you have to do is donate 1,000 coins to the Greed donation machine. The challenging part about this is you can only hold 99 pennies. During the Greed fight, if you are hit, you lose a penny completely and drop anywhere from 1 to 3 pennies. In addition, the more coins you donate as each character, the more likely the character will jam the machine. It is possible that if you beat Greed with 99 pennies, the donation machine will jam before you can donate all of your coins. This can happen to you on your first time donating with any character. Let's say you're able to donate 99 coins every time. This will take you 11 runs, assuming the donation machine does not jam. So expect this to take a long time. Now, it is possible to donate more than 99 coins after the Greed fight. This requires you to bring in a Yera, a 2 of diamonds, or either with a blank card. But, as I said before, the donation machine will have a higher chance to jam the more coins you donate. Let me explain how the jam chance works. The jam chance depends on how many coins that character has donated in any run of Greed mode. The first 54 coins you donate have a 0% chance of jamming. From 55 coins to 93 coins, the machine has a 1% chance of jamming. From 94 coins to 113, the machine has a 2% chance of jamming. The jam chance maxes out at 20%.
I think I might put my mind to unlocking
The
Bone
jam
Man.
chance is actually lower in Greed mode, but you get less coins each floor, so you have to pick your poison. Once you donate 999
Ow,
the
that
machine
shit
will
got
take one
instantly
more
hot.
coin and explode. A paper will appear that says you unlock the Keeper, and fireworks will start shooting out of the donation machine. You've officially unlocked the Keeper. The Keeper starts with the wooden nickel if you defeat Isaac with the Keeper. He also starts with 1 coin if you defeat Hush with the Keeper. Finally, he starts with the Store Key if you defeat Satan with the Keeper. For this last section of the video, I'm going to explain how to unlock all the remaining characters. First is Magdalene. To unlock Magdalene, you are required to have 7 or more red heart containers in a single run at one time. This is one of the achievements that is the easiest to do by just playing the game. Boss fights love to give you health up items, and PhD can make it easier to find health up pills. Next is Cain. To unlock Cain, you're required to hold 55 coins at once. Once again, this is an achievement you will earn very naturally. Just don't buy anything until you get 55 coins if you want to unlock Cain. Judas. To unlock Judas, you're required to defeat Satan, so just hop down the trapdoor in the Devil Room after the mob fight, or the trapdoor on the floor after the It Lives fight. Then you defeat Satan, and you have Judas. Blue Baby. To unlock Blue Baby, you're required to defeat Mom's Heart 10 times. Since Mom's Heart is the final boss until you unlock It Lives, which is unlocked by beating Mom's Heart 11 times, you will unlock Blue Baby naturally as you play. Eve. To unlock Eve, you're required to not pick up any hearts for 2 floors. This is the first character that requires a little effort to unlock. This means you cannot pick up any hearts whatsoever. It's easiest to do this on the first 2 floors. You are allowed to pick up health items. Samson. To unlock Samson, you have to beat 2 floors without taking any damage. Again, this takes some effort, however, this can be done easily on any floor if you have good enough items and moderate skill. I lack both. If all else fails, someday you will have the loss and you'll unlock Samson with ease. Azazel. To unlock Azazel, you must take 3 devil deals in 1 run. To do
Wait,
this, you
I
want
think
to
I
have
did
your
it.
devil room chance to be as high as possible at all times. A devil room will never spawn on the first floor unless it is an XL floor or you use the Joker card. On floor 2, the devil room will have a 100% chance to spawn.
I wanted to
However, if you
how
take
long I've
any
been
red
here.
heart damage, your devil room chance will be reduced to 0%. Locked for him, which requires you to beat Blue Baby, and then hear footsteps.
I did.
Next
I
up,
heard
you
the
need a bomb.
footsteps.
If you don't have a bomb, you have 3 options. 1, buy a bomb in the shop. 2, use the sacrifice spikes once. Or 3, restart the run. The sacrifice room will only drop a bomb on the first sacrifice if you beat the boss in under 1 minute. You will then need to head back to the starting room where you'll see a large strange shadow on the floor of the room. You can place the bomb anywhere in the room, which will cause a broken shovel to fall on the floor. Once you touch it, the item goes into your active item spot. You are now going to be bombarded by 2 of Mom's feet for the rest of your run. Pray if you get Host Hat or Pirate. It is important that you do not switch the shovel out with another active item. If you do, nothing bad will
Oh,
happen,
fine.
but if you leave the room
What
with
am I
a different active item, the shovel will disappear. Now you need to get to the mom fight and beat boss rush for the next step. The step is straightforward because all you have to do is make it to the mom fight. The usual 20-minute time limit does not affect you for getting the door to boss rush to open. Once you beat mom, the game will not let you do anything other than devil or angel room and boss
Oh
rush.
my god, I got
Trap
in
doors
fucking
are
trouble.
closed.
Oh my god.
Once you're in the boss rush, you can take any of the items.
This is
Now
crazy,
you need to beat
bro.
the boss rush. It is
Alright,
important that for
hold
both
on.
the mom fight and
Hold on.
actually did this if you
I'm dizzy and high. This is
hear
cool.
mom yell and then hear footsteps. For this next step, you need a bomb. If you don't have a bomb, you have free bomb on the first sacrifice if you drain shadow on the floor of the room. You can place a bomb anywhere in the room, which will cause a broken shovel to fall on the floor. Once you touch it, the item goes into your active item slot. You are now going to be bombarded by 2 of mom's feet for the rest of your run. Pray you get Host Hat or Pyromania. It is important that you do not switch the shovel out with another active item. If you do, nothing bad will happen, but if you leave the room with a different active item, the shovel will disappear. Now you need to get to the mom fight and beat boss rush for the next step. The step is straightforward because all you have to do is make it to the mom fight. The usual 20-minute time limit does not affect you for getting the door to boss rush.
Nice.
Once you beat mom, the game will not let you do anything other than devil or angel room and boss rush. The trap door to the room is closed. Once you're in the boss rush, you can take any of the items. Now you need to beat the boss rush. It is important that for both the mom fight and boss rush that you have the shovel in your active item slot at the end of the fight. This is only important if you bought the backpack. Once you beat boss rush, the second half of the shovel will be your boss rush reward. Once you pick it up, you'll have a full shovel and the feet will stop stopping. The final step is to go to Dark Room, which is hard to mess up because the game only lets you pick up the negative and then makes you go to shield. Once in Dark Room, you're going to have to navigate the floor until you find a room with a grave in it. Walk on top of the grave and use the shovel. You'll see the soul fly up off the screen. It is important you wait for the soul to leave the screen entirely. You'll see a page pop up on the screen and say Forgotten Unlocked. You officially unlocked the Forgotten. The Forgotten does not have any starting items that can be unlocked. The next character is the Keeper. At the beginning of the video, I said the Keeper is one of the 3 hardest to unlock. The reason for this is not because you have to do any series of complicated or challenging steps. All you have to do is donate 1,000 coins to the Greed donation machine. The challenging part about this is you can only hold 99 pennies. During the Greed fight, if you hit, you lose a penny completely and drop anywhere from 1 to 3 pennies. In addition, the more coins you donate as each character, the more likely the character will jam the machine. It is possible that if you beat Greed with 99 pennies, the donation machine will jam before you can donate all of your coins. This can happen to you on your first time donating with any character. Let's say you're able to donate 99 coins every time. This will take you 11 runs, assuming the donation machine does not jam. So expect this to take a long time. Now it is possible to donate more than 99 coins after the Greed fight. This requires you to bring in a Yera, a 2 of diamonds, or either with a blank card. But, as I said before, the donation machine will have a higher chance to jam the more coins you donate. Let me explain how the jam chance works. The jam chance depends on how many coins that character has donated in any run of Greed Rush. The first 54 coins you donate have a 0% chance of jamming. From 55 coins to 93 coins, the machine has a 1% chance of jamming. From 94 coins to 113, the machine has a 2% chance of jamming. The jam chance maxes out at 20%. In Afterbirth Plus, the jam chance is actually lower in Greed Rush, but you get less coins each floor based on pick your poison. Once you donate 999 coins, the machine will take 1 more coin and explode. A paper will appear that says you unlock the Keeper, and fireworks will start shooting out of the donation machine. You officially unlock the Keeper. The Keeper starts with the wooden victor if you defeat Isaac with the Keeper. He also starts with 1 coin if you defeat Hudson. Finally, he starts with full speed if you defeat Satan. For this last section of the video, I'm going to explain how to unlock all the remaining characters. First is Magdalene. To unlock Magdalene, you are required to have 7 or more red heart containers in a single run at one time. This is one of the achievements that is the easiest to do by just playing the game. Box fights love to give you health up items, and PhDs make it easier to find health up kills. Next is Cain. To unlock Cain, you're required to hold 55 coins at once. Once again, this is an achievement you will earn very naturally. Just don't buy anything until you get 55 coins if you want to unlock Cain. Judas. To unlock Judas, you're required to defeat Satan. So just hop down the trapdoor in the devil room after the mob fight, or the trapdoor on the floor after the It Lives fight. Then you defeat Satan, and you have Judas. Blue Baby. To unlock Blue Baby, you're required to defeat Mom's Heart 10 times. Since Mom's Heart is the final boss until you unlock It Lives, which is unlocked by beating Mom's Heart 11 times, you unlock Blue Baby naturally as you play. Eve. To unlock Eve, you're required to not pick up any hearts for 2 floors. This is the first character that requires a little effort to unlock. This means you cannot pick up any hearts whatsoever. It's easiest to do this on the first 2 floors. You're allowed to pick up health items. Samson. To unlock Samson, you have to beat 2 floors without taking any damage. Again, this takes some effort, however, this can be done easily on any floor if you have good enough items and moderate skill. I like that. If all else fails, someday you will have the Lost and you'll unlock Samson with ease. Azazel. To unlock Azazel, you must take 3 devil deals in 1 run. To do this, you want to have your devil room chance to be as high as possible at all times. A devil room will never spawn on the first floor unless it is an XL floor or you use the Joker card. On floor 2, the devil room will have a 100% chance to spawn. However, if you take any red heart damage, your devil room chance will be reduced to 0%. If you get a devil deal, the next floor will have a lesser chance of spawning devil room, a multiplier of 0.25. The second floor after you see a devil room, you are half as likely to spawn the devil room, a multiplier of 0.5. And the third floor, you are back to having a 100% chance to spawn the devil room. Blowing up shopkeepers and beggars increases your chance, as well as having Pentagram, Black Candle, Book of Revelations, or Book of Belial. If you have a goat head, the devil room will always have a 100% chance to spawn. Lazarus. To unlock Lazarus, you're required to have 4 or more soul hearts at one time. The hardest part about unlocking Lazarus for new players is keeping your soul heart health. If you have enough coins, it is pretty easy to buy all 4 soul hearts in the store. Eden. To unlock Eden, you have to complete Chapter 4. This simply means that you have to complete the womb for the first time. This is where you fight Mom's Heart, Lilith. To unlock Lilith, you have to beat Greed Mode as Azazel. Azazel is one of the easiest characters to slay, so this should be a piece of cake. And finally, Apollyon. To unlock Apollyon, you have to defeat Megastan as any character. In order to fight Megastan, you have to have beaten Blue Baby or the Lamb in a previous run. You then have to get Angel Runes, which only spawn if you do not take Devil Deals. Once in an Angel Rune, you bomb the statue and either Uriel or Gabriel will spawn. Once you defeat the Angel, you get a key piece. Now all you have to do is get another Angel Rune and fight another Angel. This gets you a second key piece, and you can now open the door to the Megastan fight in Chest 4 Dark Room. Well guys, that was how to unlock every character in the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. As you can probably tell, I put a...
Hello there everybody, and welcome to the history of the Keeper. The Keeper is a Binding of Isaac character originally unlockable in Afterbirth, and whether you love him or you hate him, everybody definitely has a pretty strong opinion of him. He has quite the history associated with him, from an ARG to unlock him, to the evolution of the character and the changes he's gone through, all the way to his final form as Tainted Keeper in Repentance. Without further ado, let's learn everything there is to know about the Keeper. To best understand the Keeper, we have to actually go back a little bit further. In November 2014, The Binding of Isaac Rebirth was launched on Steam, the remastered version of Edmund McMillen's flash hit The Binding of Isaac. With new characters, items, floors, and secrets to unlock, the magnum opus of McMillen's career generated a ton of buzz in the gaming community and essentially revolutionized the roguelike genre. McMillen went all out on the remaster, even going so far as to add a secret character to the game, one that was brutally hard and extremely difficult to unlock. So difficult, in fact, that McMillen didn't expect anyone to even find the character for years. Meant to be a bit of an alternate reality game, or ARG, for the community, Edmund expected players to find the character over time by working with others in the community to find the secrets in the game and finally unlock him. This is where you cue the record scratch. The secret character, the Lost, was found 109 hours after the game launched by data miners who went into the code of the game and found the character, and Edmund's attempt at an ARG had officially died. And so we fast forward on our timeline now. In October 2015, the long-awaited expansion to The Binding of Isaac Rebirth, Afterbirth, launched on Steam, and immediately thousands of users installed it, ready to unlock new content and find new secrets the creator of Isaac, McMillen, had hidden in the expansion. Immediately, data miners ran to the game code to find the secrets he had hidden, but to their surprise, there was nothing. In fact, there was so much nothing that people were pretty disappointed in the DLC at the start. There were some bugs, some missing features, things just didn't feel right. In Afterbirth, a brand new game mode was introduced, Greed Mode. This wave-based challenge mode pitted you against hordes of enemies as you buy items from the shop and eventually fight Ultra Greed, this son of a gun with massive glutes, not really important, but always worth adding, and at the end of the fight with him, a new donation machine appears.
Oh, did it again. Alright.
to donate
Alright, I
your
didn't fuck it up.
money.
I fumbled
Now,
the bag
players
on the
were
last
already
one.
used to donation
but
machines in the shop and
now I
knew
can-
that unlocks came from them, so they started dumping their extra money in. Except the machine broke at exactly 109 coins. The devs of the game spoke out on Twitter and said, "Hey, we know the greed machine is broken, we're patching it now," and released the patch a few hours later. How many hours later? Well, you guessed it, 109. There were some other weird issues going on in game too. The quarter and the dollar items appeared glitched in game, and the money equals power item now had a message displayed above it in the item collection screen that said, "Where are you?" In case that wasn't weird enough to you, if you check the item ID for money equals power in game, you guessed it again, item ID 109. Now with the greed machine fixed, people started filling it up to 999, and upon hitting 999 you would get the generosity achievement, an achievement that quite literally did nothing but congratulate you for hitting 999 in a useless machine. However, the devs were paying attention to how many people were getting generosity, and once enough people got the achievement, on November 12th, the Steam achievement icon for generosity was updated to this weird sheet of paper with black lines and dots. It's time to put on your tinfoil hat, because we're about to go much, much deeper. When you take the number of pixels in each line on the image, it translates to the number series 108, 69, 82, 66, 101, 73, 76, which when converted to ASCII code, this reads this, which is total gibberish, or so people thought. When using this as the end of an Imager link on the famous image sharing website, it brought up an image of the Lost from Rebirth with 8 strange human figures, a map icon, and a quote from the Bible, Genesis chapter 30, verse 35. The image was also 109 pixels by 109 pixels, in case you were keeping track. The community figured out the next clue was a reference to the movie The Lost Boys, and traced the next clue to the Santa Cruz boardwalk. Here at the boardwalk, one of the Reddit users working on the ARG, Nirvana Guy 007's brother, went to the boardwalk on November 13th and found a missing poster resembling the trinket in-game. As many people know, this trinket is now used to unlock the Lost. At the bottom of the post was a 7-digit phone number with the last 3 digits missing. Do I even need to tell you what the 3 digits were? Calling 424-444-0109 redirected the caller to a voicemail that said, "Hello, blah blah blah
It's gonna be
blah.
hard.
I am your blah 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 blah. I know what you came for, but I need to hear you ask me." When you reverse the blah 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 sections, it reads, "Hello, Isaac. I am your father." On November 13th, the voicemail was changed. Christ calls, generous gods don't guide history forever. Blah 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 blah. We need to go deeper. Again, reversing the blah 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 section reveals the phrase, "Knowledge grows, his final form ends beyond greed." At this point, Edmund McMillan tweeted, "Bring a shovel," a reference to the in-game item, but also another clue to what was next to come. After converting the message to alphanumeric code, the message revealed GPS coordinates leading to a building in Santa Ana. Some Reddit users ventured to the building, brought a shovel, and when they arrived, found a pile of loose change on the ground. When digging it up, they found a buried greed statue with writing all
I got
over
the
it.
shovel again.
Using the statue, the users found a Twitter address at I am Isaac's body and the password Isaac is dead. After the community tweeted as the account, effectively giving Isaac a voice, the developers uploaded a new patch for the game introducing a brand new character, the Keeper, unlockable by donating 1,000 coins to the Greed donation machine. Edmund McMillan's dream of a full-blown ARG officially came true. And then the community hated the character with a passion and complained about it for the next 5 years. So let's talk about the Keeper. Note that the character did change in Repentance as well, but we're going to talk about that here in a little bit. So originally designed as Old Man Keeper, an alternate skin found in the game files that was expected to be the first idea for the Keeper's look, the Keeper is built around the Shopkeeper enemies that can be found throughout the game. Let's talk a bit how the character played out of the box. Starting with a new form of HP, the Keeper has coin hearts, which only refill if the player picks up a coin. The Keeper started with 2 of these coin hearts, which effectively meant he had 1 heart and could only take 1 hit per room. Devil Deals were extremely dangerous to take, as an entire coin heart was removed, and HP ups would only give health up to 2 coin hearts and no more. The only way to get more coin hearts was with the Greed's Gullet item, an unlockable item that allowed the Keeper to gain coin hearts for every 25 coins that he has, so effectively you could get to 6 hearts total at 99 cents. He also started with Triple Shot, a reference to the triple shot shooting that the Shopkeeper enemies have. The Keeper was seen as an extremely challenging character since, unlike the Lost, the lack of mobility and flying and free Devil Deals combined with the lowered rate of fire and DPS just made the character quite difficult. Some common ways to cheese him included bombing pots on the first floor so you get Swallowed Penny, so that every time you got hit it spawned a coin you could pick up, which effectively turned you invincible as long as you could pick it up. Beating Isaac as the Keeper allowed him to start with Wooden Nickel, an item that has a 50% chance to drop a coin on use and has a 1-room charge allowing for extra health in tough rooms, or beating Satan to start with Storekeep, preventing greed from ever spawning in shops. And while we're on the topic of achievements, no one can forget possibly the worst achievement in the entire game, beating Hush as the Keeper, which makes him start with a singular penny. Whoopee. But now we move into a brand new era. Repentance. Big DLC. The final DLC. Balance changes, tweaks, fixes, and even tainted versions of every character. Let's talk a bit about how the Keeper changed. The first change is the Keeper's health, simply adding a 3rd coin heart container to the Keeper, giving him a lot more health potential since you can get hit multiple times in one room. But the biggest change is the change to Devil Deals, and pay attention because you're going to see this again shortly. Devil Deals no longer cost coin heart containers to take, but instead cost money. 15 cents for a 1-heart deal and 30 cents for a 2-heart deal, the character based around money now has an even greater relation to money, and in a DLC focused strongly on angel deals, the character definitely utilizes Devil Deals in a fun and unique way from other characters in the game, giving you an incentive to go for them. But let's be real, who cares about changes to the Keeper when Tainted Keeper exists? Repentance now adds tainted versions of every character in Isaac with different mechanics and, only in certain cases, more fun mechanics. However, personally, Tainted Keeper is my absolute favorite tainted character in Repentance because of its brilliant mechanics that give it that original Keeper feel while adding the potential to spiral runs completely out of control. Tainted Keeper, like the original OG Keeper, starts with 2 coin hearts instead of 3.
Bro, what in the
One-shot
fuck? I've
instead of
never
triple
ever
shot.
seen that
Every
before.
time
It
you
bounced
kill
up
an enemy,
everywhere.
the enemy
So
drops
fuck.
a coin, which allows you to save a ton of money and also heal in normal rooms as if you have Swallowed Penny. The ultimate shtick though, shops are cracked. Every shop you go into as Tainted Keeper is going to be like the old Afterbirth Plus fully upgraded shops with upwards of 4 items and tons of consumables, and these shops contain items from every pool in the game. So you may be able to kill enemies on your first floor, get 30 coins, walk into your shop, and Godhead is just sitting there waiting for you. It fits so thematically well for the character and creates runs that are both extremely dangerous and risky with only 2 health, but also extremely strong and fun with unique synergies pairing with the quad shot. So that's about everything for the history of the Keeper, and whether you love him or hate him, you can't deny that. Hello there, everybody, and welcome back to another Binding of Isaac video. Today we take a look at the history of the Binding of Isaac itself. This is going to be an informational video covering the history of the game from the very, very beginning to the release of Repentance later this year. We're going to cover various important updates, monumental decisions, and other fun facts about Isaac's history. We'll go into detail about the creation of the Lost, the ARG to unlock the Keeper, and the future of the game with Repentance. Without further ado, let's just hop right in. In 2011, Edmund McMillen and Florian Himsold designed and produced an indie roguelike game based around the biblical story of the Binding of Isaac. Fashioned after Dungeons and The Legend of Zelda, the game was meant to create a new twist on the roguelike industry with real-time combat and a wide variety of items and power-ups needed to defeat bosses and defeat Isaac's mother. The game was a result of a week-long game jam where McMillen showcased his positive and negative opinions of growing up in a religious household. The Adobe Flash game was then released on Steam in September 2011 without the expectation of many sales, as McMillen was taking a huge risk after the success of his very popular game Super Meat Boy. Clearly, this game over-exceeded his expectations. With 6 playable characters, Isaac, Maggie, Cain, Judas, Eve, and Blue Baby, the game gained popularity due to its large amount of replayability as a roguelite. On May 28, 2012, an expansion to the Flash game was created and released on Steam. Wrath of the Lamb added 70% more content to the game with over 10 new bosses, 100 new items, 40 different unlocks, 2 additional endings, and 2 alternate levels, Sheol and the Cathedral. Trinkets, temporary items, were also implemented into the game. Samson, a brand new character, was introduced that had an increased damage rate when killing enemies. Wrath of the Lamb's success led to Edmund wanting to create another massive expansion to the game, but the limitations of the Flash language they wrote the game in kind of constrained him. So in comes Nicalis. In 2012, Tyrone Rodriguez of the game development company Nicalis reached out to McMillen about bringing the Binding of Isaac to consoles. Ed was interested, but demanded the game be reprogrammed from Flash and include the full Wrath of the Lamb DLC. Nicalis agreed, and thus work began on the Binding of Isaac Rebirth. Rebirth, which is now available on most consoles today, Xbox, PS4, even Nintendo DS, introduced new playable characters, items, enemies, bosses, challenges, and seeds, allowing for players to play the same runs as other players. The game also introduced new characters, Azazel, a demon with flight, and a small brimstone beam, and Lazarus, a character with an extra life, and finally, Eden, a randomizer who started with different items and stats every single run. Throughout the original Flash game's development, Ed would hide little secrets and Easter eggs inside the game to get the community to talk about it and discuss the game. In Rebirth, Ed hoped to bring that to a brand new level. He knew players would be looking for secrets when Rebirth launched, so he took drastic measures to completely hide a quote-unquote final playable character, the Lost, from the public. And with that, 109 hours later, the Lost was uncovered. To unlock it, Edmund expected the community to die in self-sacrifice rooms while holding the missing poster trinket. This exact scenario is incredibly unlikely to actually occur, and Ed expected it to be months or even years until the Lost was actually uncovered. Upon dying in these self-sacrifice rooms, a puzzle piece would appear, which when put together gave you directions for how to unlock the Lost. You had to die 4 times with 4 different characters in 4 very unique scenarios. Dying as Isaac to a Mullaboom in the basement, followed by dying to your own bomb as Maggie in the caves, followed by getting killed by Mom's foot as Judas in the depths, and then finally getting killed by Satan's first form as Azazel. If you did all of those in a row without any other runs, you would unlock the Lost, a character that had no HP and died on the first hit. This led to me having a negative 267 streak in the Binding of Isaac Rebirth on PS4, but hey, that's a side note. In 2015, McMillen announced the first expansion to Rebirth, Afterbirth. Afterbirth offered a new game mode in the game, Greed Mode, new alternate floors, a new character, Lilith, and a new floor featuring a new final boss, Hush. These new floors included those such as the flooded caves and burning basement, and most importantly, the Blue Womb. On release, the game was incredibly buggy and missing content, which led the community to be disappointed pretty early on as they felt the game was incomplete. But then they started to notice that things just seemed off. Not really buggy, but just off. The new Green Mode game mode featured a donation machine at the end of the run that gave bonuses when donated to, but on launch, the machine would grate at 109 coins rather than the expected 999. This was fixed 109 hours later in a quick patch, allowing the machine to store more than 109 coins and also adding a new achievement, Generosity, which was received upon reaching the cap of 999 coins. The item Money Equals Power is item ID 109 and featured a new teaser text of "Where are you?" in the game when moused over. These clues were clearly a reference to the 109 hours it took for the Lost to be discovered, and the community was ready for the wild goose chase the devs were going to send them on. When enough people reached the Generosity achievement around November 12th, the Steam achievement for Generosity was updated to a piece of paper with black lines and dots on it. When the number of pixels in each line were counted, it gave the number series 108, 69, 82, 66, 101, 73, 76, which was then translated to ASCII code, which becomes IERBEIL. This led to an Imager URL link with a picture of the Lost. Resized to 109 by 109 pixels, the picture was a reference to the movie The Lost Boys, which references the Santa Cruz boardwalk. A Reddit user's brother went to the boardwalk and found a missing poster, resembling the trinket in-game used to unlock the Lost, with a 7-digit phone number on the poster. Yep, you guessed it, 109. On the back of the poster is written, "God is Spirit," a reference to John chapter 4, verse 24 in the Bible, thus calling 424-444-0109 directs the caller to a voicemail saying, "Hello, Isaac. I am your father. I know what you came for, but I need to hear you ask me." That evening, the voicemail was then replaced with a new message. Christ calls, generous gods don't guide history forever. We need to go deeper. Upon converting the first letter of each word in the message to the first character and using an alphanumeric code, the voicemail was converted to GPS coordinates. At this point, the devs told the community to bring a shovel.
Oh,
At
no.
the location, a small greed statue was dug up with a variety of text written on it. It said to give the statue a voice and listed a username and password, "I am Isaac's body," and password, "Isaac is dead." Using these credentials on Twitter allowed the community to tweet as the statue, thus giving him a voice. The game was patched, adding a brand new character to the game when you blow up the greed donation machine at 1,000 coins. The Keeper offered a new mechanic, Coin Hell, and made the community wish they never actually unlocked it. In December 2015, Nicholas announced that another expansion, Afterbirth Plus, was in development. This added new monsters, bosses, items, and a new playable character to the game. It also would include the bestiary, but most importantly, Steam Workshop support, allowing the community to keep the game alive in what was claimed to be its final update. The update promised booster packs, a series of updates adding new content both from Ed himself, but also from the community's mod creations.
What?
There were 5 booster packs total, which added new items and bosses, but the final update revealing a final character to the game.
Let me in,
the Forgotten. Unlocked by carrying the dangerous Mom's shovel to the dark room and uncovering his corpse, the Forgotten offered another new mechanic as being the first melee character in the game. With that, the community took a long breath in realizing they were playing the last update to the game. Psych! In September 2018, Macmillan once again revealed that a new final DLC would come to the Binding of Isaac Rebirth, Repentance. This would introduce the fan-made expansion Anti-Birth into the game. Anti-Birth is a fan-made expansion to the Binding of Isaac Rebirth, released a few weeks before Afterbirth Plus was released. The mod became a quick hit in the community as a challenging and also balanced alternative to the standard game. It introduced a large amount of new content, including new characters such as Bethany and Jacob and Esau, the two-headed monstrosity that revolutionized a brand new character mechanic in the game. A few of Anti-Birth's lead devs had been enlisted by Macmillan to work on the final booster pack of the game, and primarily working on dev for Repentance, leaving the community to think that development on the Anti-Birth mod had been halted. This DLC will introduce upwards of 4 new floors to the game, 2 new characters, new items, bosses, enemies, and a whole lot of content, possibly more than all of the DLCs combined, and this is now the 5th time that I've recorded a different date for when it's releasing. Macmillan continues to expand his name from the initial Basement Collection and Isaac franchise with games such as The End is Nigh, Legend of Bumbo, and the new Binding of Isaac card game, The Binding of Isaac 4 Souls. This man has revolutionized the gaming industry and continues to put smiles on thousands of people's faces worldwide daily. I'm excited to see where the Isaac adventure takes us in Repentance and continue to love and appreciate this long-running game. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you found something in this video interesting. I implore you to check out some of my Isaac series on the channel where we break. Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to the long-awaited 101 more facts about the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. Over a year in the making, we finally have 101 more high-quality gameplay-related facts about the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. It should be noted you may know some of these facts, but I'm banking on you not knowing at least one. Let me know what fact you didn't know in the comments below, as well as some of your favorite unknown facts. These facts may also not be true once Repentance launches, since some of these are built on existing bugs within the game. So please don't comment in 6 months on this video telling me I'm wrong and can't see into the future. Without further ado, 101 facts. Let's get it. If a black fly flies around poop for a long time or comes into contact with a golden poop, it turns into a pooter. Polyphemus and chocolate milk give the Forgotten a massive bone. No lewd suggestions.
In a minute, can I do it in a minute?
Mr.
Can I do it in a minute?
Devil
No,
deals and
you're
it
not gonna let me
doesn't
do it,
count as you take one, thus preserving your angel deal chance. The Forgotten swing attack can actually open up Mimic and Spike chests without taking damage. Super high speed and a couple one makes you smaller pills allows you to run over gaps. This one is insanely interesting and for sure a bug, but still pretty cool. Want to play a shell beggar forever but might pick up Skull? Just leave the room and it will reset. The adversary can put out new fires. This is pretty useless to most people, but hey,
yeah, fuck yeah.
Actually greatly increases with range. Like,
I tell you, his TC not normal.
Here's him with base
he called
range,
it.
Now 81 range, and finally 606 range. Sacrificial Altar is pretty much a godly item for the Guardian Challenge, as you can actually get rid of Isaac's heart. There are super secret tinted rocks in the game that many people don't know about. They're marked with a less distinguishable X and require you getting the Five Nights at Freddy's achievement to unlock them. They also require 2 bombs to destroy, but they can give you more consumables. Eden's Blessing can technically give you Eden's Blessing, which could then technically give you Eden's Blessing. When factoring in the items that Eden can start with, this is still a freakishly low chance, 0.000336%, but still possible. These abysmal cross-stony variants are in the game code but have luckily only been seen in the April Fool's Challenge. Skatol and the virus can generate infinite black hearts if you're patient enough. I have to somehow make this fact go on longer than it actually is so you can see this actually occur. Okay, cool, there we go. Bomber Boy actually counts as multiple bomb blasts. This means that bedrooms can be opened using only 1 bomb. This also explains the glitch in Afterbirth where using Bomber Boy on blue fireplaces would result in many soul hearts, since a bug existed where you could stack bombs on blue fireplaces to get more soul hearts. Since Bomber Boy is multiple bombs, it used to react similarly. This has luckily been removed in Afterbirth Plus. Most people know the Bible will auto-kill Mom in the Mom fights, but it will also auto-kill you in the Satan fight. Sacrificial Altar will work on flies generated from Pretty Fly pills. This effectively makes for the only way to generate items from pills.
Wow.
Lucky pennies have a slightly greenish tint to them that can let you know it's a lucky penny before you pick it up. Small boss rooms on the 2nd floor don't have a 100% chance to spawn a Devil Deal. This is due to the boss room being a small room and there not being a viable wall for the Devil Deal to spawn on. I don't have a clip for this as I spent close to an hour restarting runs until I got it and eventually just gave up. So this is a screenshot from a fellow Redditor who had this happen to him. Thank you. If you can get a bomb in his mouth, Bighorn also dislikes smoke. This will stun him and give you a good bit of time to attack. Killing Devil Beggars, Skull Beggars, or do not increase the chance chance to open the Devil Room, while killing Coin Bums and Bomb Bums does. Thunder Thighs and Leo allow you to step on red poops without taking any damage. Hallowed Ground and Card Against Humanity can light up your darkest of rooms and give you a hell of a tears up. Ball of Bandages will replace a fly orbital if you have 3, but will return it if you get up the Bandage Girl. Crow Heart works really well if you have Bone Hearts because it will take HP away from them first, not break them, and not kill your Devil Deal chance. If you're going to carry Butter, don't use Razor Blade. This is probably a bug, but it simply hurts you and doesn't give you any damage. Guppy synergizes surprisingly well with Finger, as damage done from Finger will actually spawn flies. This can be seen here since we aren't using Mom's Knife for damage, but we are still generating a lot of flies. Euconium has a greater chance of dropping black hearts from black poops. This is actually a very fun fact because it isn't documented on the Isaac wiki. This was actually determined by members in the Binding of Isaac Discord. Shout out to my friends there. Telepills has a pretty rare chance of teleporting you to an error room. It's about a 1 out of 15 or 6.66% chance to occur. The Void allows for unlimited uses of Sacrificial Altar as long as there are familiars to sacrifice. This results in a really amazing synergy with Monster Manual, since you can continue to generate familiars and then continue to sacrifice them. Capricorn also gives one of each consumable. Great items just keep on getting greater. If you beat the first floor boss in under a minute, and there's a sacrifice room on the floor, it is guaranteed to give you a bomb just in case you need it to get Mom's shovel. Speed is the only stat with both an upper and lower limit. All other stats have a boundary that can go in. This might be the most known fact on the list, but there's actually 2 infested pills, one with an exclamation point and one with a question mark. Infested with an exclamation point destroys all poops in the room and gives spiders for each one, while infested with a question mark just gives spiders for each enemy in the room. In addition to breaking rocks, sulfuric acid also opens secret rooms, making it one of the best min-maxing items in the game. Black markets prevent angel deals in the same way devil deals do, so as tempting as they may be, you may not want them if you need those angel deals. In addition to the soul hearts, PJs completely refills all of your empty red hearts. Mystery Gift gives items based on the pool of the room you're in, bringing into devil deals to snag a free devil deal item. It also has a chance to give you poop though, so watch out. With enough shot speed, you actually just literally can't hit enemies. Your shots are so fast they've entered the ether or something. The arguably rarest enemy in the game is the blue conjoined fatty. They can only be found in a very specific room on the chest and fire these horrible homing tears. Chaos card can actually be affected by Angelic Prism. Now you can miss all 4 of your Chaos cards. Store credit will work infinitely in a shop if you get it from the Error 404 trinket. Pretty low odds that I'm not going to calculate, but someone in the comments will, and that's good enough for me. Also, this clip took me like 20 minutes to get, so you better appreciate it. Placebo plus a 48-hour energy pill equals a very broken game with a lot of vanity charges. Exiting the game after losing Holy Mantle as the Lost and then continuing used to give you Holy Mantle back, but this was specifically patched out so people could not use the Lost. A strength card used by the Keeper with only 1 heart will give you a permanent health upgrade. This makes strength cards really valuable. Champion Belt gives a plus 15% chance for champions to spawn, while Purple Heart gives a plus 50% chance. Continuum works with Bob's Rotten Head. I'm not sure how useful this is, but it's really strange that this has this interaction. The Lost cannot play a Devil Beggar normally because it will not eat the Holy Mantle charge, but you can cheese this with invincibility frames generated by Vengeful Razor. Sacrificial Altar is one of few items that ignores the effects of chaos and will always give items from the Devil item pool. Speaking of item pools, there's 15 of them total in the game, and when you pick up Chaos, each has an equal chance of being selected. Thus, bomb items are much more likely to be seen due to the Bomb Bum pool, but also Guppy items since they exist in multiple pools. If this is something you're interested in, check out my Chaos video, and you'll learn all about this. Oh, you want even more item pool shenanigans? There's a reason why Breakfast is so common in greed mode when you pick up Chaos. When you exhaust an item pool, it replaces it with Breakfast. Since there's significantly less item pools in greed mode, only 9, there's a higher chance of depleting one quicker, which then gives a higher chance of Breakfast to appear. There is a rare item room that does not actually contain an item, but instead has a trinket and some consumables. I tried to look for this one as well for a long time, but I ended up just stealing a picture from online.
I hate being bullshitted, bro.
Mom's wig actually heals 1 red heart, so hopefully if you need that clutch heal, you'll find it.
I won't.
Dead Sea Scrolls doesn't actually do a random active item effect. It picks from a distinct list of 26 items, and ironically enough, while one of them is Kamikaze, 3 of them are Book of Revelation, Satanic Bible, and the Nail, meaning you have a better chance to get HP than lose it from using this item. Ventricle Razor can get you in and out of a curse room without any damage to your player. This item is just so good. Come on. The Hush Shop will always be fully upgraded, even if you haven't donated enough coins for the level 4 shop upgrade. Have you ever had your best friend eaten alive? Chubb's a real son of a gun sometimes. Littlehorn makes Rag Mega kinda simple. The shots can destroy his seemingly invulnerable tiers, leaving him with close to no attacks. Monstro, from Monstro's Tooth, is treated in the game as an explosion, and thus can open secret rooms. Now, for the moment you've all been waiting for, I have 2 facts about one of the most unused items in the game, Boomerang. Boomerang is affected by Isaac's range stat, which allows it to get much further. And because of this high range, it's actually possible to throw 2 boomerangs in the same room with enough speed and range.
Gotten that one like every fucking time.
Flush insta-kills poop enemies and leaves other small poops in the place of bosses. Box of Friends actually interacts directly with Milk and gives you the decrease in your tier delay without having to get hit. This means that if you have enough battery charges, you can actually get 1 rate of fire just from Milk. Picking up 2 Ludovico techniques will create a small Ludo tier that orbits your main Ludo tier. Okay, fine, I'll show you what another 20 looks like. Yeah, it's cool. Clicker can transform you into Dark Judas or Lazarus Risen, 2 characters you technically can't start as. This is because they are technically classified as characters in the game and have different stats from Judas and Lazarus. Thus, Clicker recognizes them as possible characters to transform into. Car Battery does affect Crooked Penny. It activates Crooked Penny twice, which gives you a 25% chance to quadruple everything in the room. If the first activation fails and the second succeeds, then a copy of the item will be created as the original disappears. This is a 25% chance of occurring as well, which in the end does not hurt your chances, as it's still a 50-50 chance. Eden's Soul spawns items similarly to Mystery Gift, meaning that it spawns based on the item pool of the room you're in. So it can be an easy 2 free Devil Deal. Just in case you didn't hate hosts enough, even Plan C can't kill them. Krampus will actually deal a whole heart of contact damage to you regardless of the floor you're on. Ball of Bandages and Cube of Meat do the exact same amount of damage, unlike a lot of other things.
Fuck me.
Where they differ is that Ball of Bandages also fires Charm Tears on its 2nd level, making it a little bit better than Cube of Meat.
I'll get it.
While we did talk about the fact that Blood Clot only affects tears from the left eye in the last 101 Isaac Facts video, that isn't necessarily always true. Since Cain only fires tears out of his right eye, it will shoot blood clot tears 50% of the time out of his right eye. This is not a set every other tier, as you can see here. Sister Maggie and Brother Bobby both deal the same amount of damage despite people thinking one is better than the other. They are the exact same item, just with different names and slightly different
I don't
stats.
care.
Celtic Cross's invincibility will always activate when you're hit if you're at 27 luck. Jesus, that's a lot of luck. There exists a super rare champion enemy that heals other enemies. This can result in literally being unable to kill enemies unless you kill that enemy first. This is just insane. I've hit this guy so many times and he just won't die. Kills from Daddy Longlegs are classified in-game as player kills, thus effects like Infestation 2 that generate spiders from player kills will generate from Daddy Longlegs. E. coli is the best item to use on Mullibooms because it will actually turn them into poops before they can explode on you. Goat Head is actually programmed to not work at all in greed mode, but why? Well, it's actually not even in the greed mode item pool. It's impossible to get the item in the mode. Speaking of Goat Head, Eucharist overrides Goat Head completely, rendering it useless if you already have Eucharist. Perks can be used in a self-sacrifice room to only take half a heart of damage per sacrifice. This is really good to get the key pieces. Many people know Virgo will give a chance at invincibility upon being hit, but it will also convert negative pills to positive pills, similar to how PhD works. Speaking of PhD, it also has two pretty hidden effects that many people don't know about. It restores 2 hearts on pickup, but it also guarantees at least 2 pennies when using IV bag or blood donation machines. Apple's Razor Blade shot deals 4 times Isaac's damage stat, making it the highest damage increase we have affecting Isaac's tears. Bumbo can drop items on pedestals, but those items are actually not affected by the loot pool of the room he's in. It's completely random. Remote Detonator actually works with Curse of the Tower, which is going against the normal behavior of troll bombs, but can be used to open up secrets. Game-breaking Bug can re-roll consumables it passes over in the room while at least one enemy is still alive. This is such a niche thing to do, but it can get you that key you need. People think that Multidimensional Baby makes tears do more damage when they pass through, but it actually doesn't. You can see here that the tears created by Multidimensional Baby are the same as your base damage. Technically speaking, Adrenaline gives you the highest damage out of any syringe, since with 11 empty hearts, it'll give you a whopping plus 2.4 damage to the damage formula, and it also turns you into Arnold Schwarzenegger. There is a very small chance that you can play a Demon Beggar and get a free item without taking any damage by using Cone Head. It's a 0.8% chance at the best odds, and I already spent like 15 hours collecting these clips, so I'm not doing this one, but hey, it's still possible. Flush guarantees you get the bonus from the best list every time. This is a little difficult to see in the clip, but you can see that we're getting that extra consumable in each of these rooms. Greed's Gullet will effectively hurt you if you pick it up at 99 coins because you're never going to get HP from it and only lose those coins, thus losing the HP. Even though a battery charge will not charge up Mega Blast all the way, a 48-hour energy pill will. Minecrafter can effectively be used as Remote Detonator as well if you use it twice in the same room. This one is actually pretty well known at this point, but to new players it might not be. The tick normally cannot be removed once you put it on, but if you pick up the matchstick, it can be removed. Oh frig it, let's do a bunch of trinket facts. Stud Finder actually does its generation differently from other items and trinkets. It doesn't depend at all on location and makes it where each rock destroyed, seen or not seen, has a chance to contain a crawl space. This is unlike Shiny Rock, which depends on the tinted rocks and crawl spaces already existing. Mom's Box changes Purple Heart to quadruple the chances of champion appearing instead of doubling. That's a lot of damage. Mega Troll Bombs turn into sets of 2 bombs when cut with safety scissors. Many people think that the worm trinkets are in general worthless and don't provide much value besides their cool appearance, but Wiggle Worm is actually the same tears up as an item like Squeezy. Pretty much the only room you can't leave after entering with Doorstop is Boss Rush. You can even leave the Krampus fight.
pretty
Nose Goblin is in a lot of ways even better than Sinus Infection because the Booger Tears will home in on enemies as well. This is a fascinating trinket for me because it's just a copy of another item in the game, but it's better. Very strange. Ouroboros Worm has a very small luck-based chance to fire homing tears. This is so completely inconsequential when you look at the normal shots of it, but sure. Wishbone spawns an item on a 2% chance of getting hit. It also spawns an item from the item pool of the room you're in. So this means that, yes, on average, if you have the HP to get hit upwards of 50 times in a Devil Deal, or you can generate infinite charges with Dull Razor, you're going to get a nice free Devil Egg. And finally, Chub dislikes smoke. Wait, you're telling me I ended the last 101 facts video with this? Okay, fine. Chub really dislikes smoke, but only if it's spawned from the matriarch. It'll spit the bombs right back at you. Thank you all so much for watching. This video took over a year to make, and I appreciate all the love on it and the previous 101 facts video. If you enjoyed, please like the video as it helps me out a lot, and consider checking out some of the other content on the channel. We also stream over at twitch.tv/AlexaStream.
All this information, or all these little facts coming from Alexa. So, if you're curious and want to support that streamer and content creator, that would be the little facts videos. Facts. Years ago, he was making videos of that stuff. Well, I'm gonna talk for 10 minutes.
Hello there, everybody, and welcome back to another pseudo repentance news
you get
video.
3,
This is a video about
alright,
Anti-Birth
never mind.
and then repentance
People like
once it
what they like them
releases.
and
Today we're going to talk about one of my favorite features in Anti-Birth and soon to be in Repentance, the Planetarium. For those that don't know, planetariums are a rare room in the game that give you a constellation-based item and other goodies. The room starts with a 1% chance to spawn on your run, but there's an easy way to make them spawn more often that we'll talk about in this video. Now I know what you're saying, Repentance isn't out yet, so this video is useless, and to an extent you're correct, but planetariums have been all but confirmed to be in Repentance, and they're likely going to work similarly to Anti-Birth since not many mechanics in that sense have changed from Anti-Birth to Repentance. So if this video ends up being false information in 3 months when Repentance releases, please don't comment that I'm an idiot. At least for that reason.
Man, I'm gonna throw
for other
rocks in
reasons,
your
or
fucking windows,
you
bro.
can be nice to me and tell me you appreciate me. That's up to you. But plus 2020 can give the. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus video. Today, 101 facts slammed right in your
Where we
face.
going?
You might know them, you might not. These are not your normal, Guppy was Edmund's cat. No, these are all related to gameplay.
Bro, y'all
to help
bullshit.
you
There's
improve
no
your
way
Binding of
that
Isaac
Guppy
gameplay.
was the
Time to
cat.
hop right in because, well, this might take a while. The controversial
sitting here
item
for a while
guillotine
fucking
actually
trying to unlock
stacks.
this piece of
That's
shit, so.
really, really weird. That's way too many of Isaac's head. Holy crap, no, stop! Hollowed ground plus relax can result in you having a pretty massive tears up in the room that you use it. Pretty unique. The blue loss that comes out of the new character, the Forgotten, can technically be played with on its own using the debug console. Isaac's Heart plus Breath of Life is really great. It doesn't harm you. The head from Guillotine counts as a familiar, so feel free to spam that box of friends on this boy. Wait, no, stop! Diploping buddy in a box will give you 2 different buddies from that box. Not the same. Marked plus camo undies is an awesome synergy that turns you into a stealth assassin. No enemies will be alerted of you unless you move the marked bridge. It Lives and Mom do not actually deal contact damage to Isaac. It's difficult to see, but really you're free to get as close as you want. Many people know that you can teleport infinitely with non-charge active items and broken remote, but a pony will actually not lose its charges when used with broken remote, allowing for infinite teleportation as well. Who does the box belong to? Isaac. Tyler, this is the worst fact on this list. Yeah, I know. The Bookworm transformation plus 2020 can give the occasional quad shot without the tears down. This is one of the reasons why I love
Isaac.
Delirium is immune to Chaos card and technically Plan C because Delirium's death animation takes longer than the 3 seconds.
No, my
Plan C
goddamn
takes
box,
to kill
bro.
Isaac. The only way to use Plan C on Delirium is if Isaac has Lazarus's rags. The Void's active items are stored on the item in any form for the entirety of the run. What does that mean? If you drop the Void somewhere on the run and happen to find it again later, it will have stored all of the active items that you sucked up earlier in the run. Skinless Hush can be found in game files, but it's solely a red herring for data miners when Afterbirth was released. Delirium facts, woo! Delirium can turn into any boss in the game and has special skins for every boss except for the Fallen Angels. It can even turn into modded bosses despite not having a special skin for them. On a separate note, Delirium can turn into Hush even though the animations are unfinished. The attacks are also fairly bugged. You aren't really supposed to be able to have this happen, and it can only be accomplished with a debug. Realistically, Delirium can turn into any boss you fought. That means that, yes, he can turn into Skinless Hush if you spawn it in. Delirium also has the most HP of any boss in the game at 10,000. This is more than Hush at 6,666, although Hush has armor scaling when Delirium does not. Delirium facts over. The order you take Libra and Soy Milk in does not matter. This has been proved 7 million times and people still want to tell me in my comment sections the order matters. It doesn't. Stop. The D10 only re-rolls flying enemies into flying enemies. This is not really useful at all, but a bit of odd work being done in the game's code. The D8 re-rolls stats, but will never take you below the tier cap, so you're still going to need some tier delay downs. The D10 can also re-roll an enemy into the mask half of the Heart and Mask duo, which will kill it instantly. Sure, you want another D10 fact? Stone shooters technically count as enemies, meaning that they can be re-rolled with the D10 as well. Pretty whack. Transcendence plus Scissors makes Isaac literally 100% invisible except for his shadow. The Blighted Ovum's ghost name is Suture, and he can be killed with the Little Horn item. Nightlight can clear Curse of Darkness, which is probably the only useful thing about Nightlight. Midas Touch and E. coli is equivalent to infinite golden poops. Ever wondered what would happen if you voided the void? Well, you're about to find out. Drumroll, please. Nothing. You can use the debug console to spawn the big chest that appears at the end of the game, meaning that you can technically complete a run on the first room of the game. Sadly, it does not count towards your streak. Succubus damage stacks. This results in approximately infinite broken damage. Using Midas Touch on Ultra Greed reduces his armor by 25%, making it arguably one of the most useful items against this boss. Card Against Humanity can be used to move the second phase of Hush from its normal location. It's also possible to use it to stop the second phase of Hush from appearing in its entirety, but it's incredibly difficult to pull this off, and I've only seen it done once. Mr. Me can open the Mega Satan door. Keeps adding to the usefulness of that item. Whore of Babylon changes Eve's character base damage. If you don't know what this means, it means that when Eve has Whore of Babylon activated, a damage up will add more damage than if Eve does not have Whore of Babylon active when receiving that same damage up. If this didn't make sense, I highly recommend you check out my in-depth damage video as I go in a bit more detail there. There's a secret floor in the game that mimics the Greed floor, but it also removes layers of the soundtrack so you only hear guitars. Kinda strange. Bloody Lust, as we know, increases Isaac's damage upon getting hit, but it wasn't always like this. In Flash Isaac, Wrath of the Lamb, Bloody Lust gave damage upon killing enemies in a room, then reset after clearing the room. Sound familiar? They brought it back as Lusty Blood in Afterbirth. We know that Host Hat and Pyromaniac gives bomb immunity, but so does Dr. Fetus plus Ipecac. Enough One Makes You Small pills allows you to slip through spike areas completely unscathed. Isaac pees on the floor of the starting room if he's on half a heart. However, if you have Kidney Stone, That P will be blood. That's some odd-ass attention to detail, Ed. Trampleflies and hosts don't deal contact. And, of course, black flies don't either, but I think everyone knows that one by now. Humbling Bundle allows you to locate lucky pennies. Booger tears from sinus infection are also piercing, we just don't notice because they stick to enemies. If you shoot at a fire, you're gonna see it, they go right through it. Despite there being 46 different pills in Isaac, it's only possible to see 13 different pills on any given run. That means your Tears Up pill you really need probably doesn't even exist on your run. Tough luck. Chaos card also destroys rock-based enemies such as Grimaces and the Stonies that run and chase you. Hematemesis, when used in a super secret room, can give black hearts or eternal hearts based on the room. Devil and angel statues have a rock underneath them. This means there's a freakishly low chance of there being a tinted rock underneath and getting a spawning a devil statue. Beating Edmund, the big guy, before Florian, the little guy, has a 25% chance to drop an item in the room instead of the left hand. Pyromaniac also protects you from the shots from red fires. Chaos card can destroy the bloat's eyes. The boomerang red can.
I'm gonna pause this for a second and try to find more intel on unlocking getting forgotten. Pause. See what this has to say. That's really great, bro. Pins unlocked.
And today I'm going to share with you my method of how I unlocked the Forgotten, the new character for Binding of Isaac Afterbirth. Need a bit of patience as it requires quite a lot of resetting.
Okay.
You can use any character you like. I chose Azazel for simplicity's sake. What you want to do is you want to reset over and over until a treasure room spawns near you that contains one of two items. Either Pyromaniac or the Host Hat.
You got it, Chief.
Having Pyromaniac or the Host Hat will stop the feet that will be constantly jumping all over you from actually doing any damage, as these items make you immune to explosions.
Dude, I would have walked past
Firstly,
Pyromaniac.
then, you need to beat that floor's boss within a minute. Oh, and it can't be Curse of the Labyrinth either. It has to just be a standard basement, burning basement, or cellar. Beat the boss in under a minute, and you'll hear Mom shout, Isaac.
Isaac!
You then run back to the starting room, bomb the floor, and you will get the handle of Mom's shovel.
Okay. I hate that.
Okay, let's skip ahead to the boss rush.
Oh god.
So we need to get to Mom in under 20 minutes and beat the boss rush. And you will get the head of Mom's shovel. Now you can more or less take your time. We need to go to the dark room.
The dark
So
room.
always go down the hall to Sheol and then go to the dark room. Somewhere in the dark room you will find a room that looks like this with a very conspicuous looking square on the floor. Go and stand on it, use Mom's shovel, and you'll unlock the Forgotten.
Spitters. He was probably like 10 years old and named Anarchy. And some people just have all the luck.
As crazy as I sound, I know. But I think it'll be hilarious if I pull this off. Okay, well, that wasn't good. It's okay, don't worry. Look, we got the bombs. We just need to beat the boss under a minute.
Did you know gaming? My cat's fat and will break something.
Candle and Blue Candle can destroy shopkeepers. This is great value when you can destroy them and get some money back. Chemical Peel and Blood Clot only affect the damage of tears from Isaac's left eye. They also apply directly to those tears without factoring into the damage equation, so they actually become great items for a damage down like Soybean. A crawl space is generated on every floor, but a trap door may not exist. This is a bit of in-depth Isaac stuff here. A floor can never create both a black market and item dungeon, even though it does generate both on a floor. Whatever is created first is what will be used on that floor. This explains how the glitch used to exist that you can move from an item dungeon to a black market. The Wiz plus Are You a Wizard actually makes Isaac shoot a tier straight. In this case, 2 wrongs do make a right. Error 404 is at least a remotely okay trinket for the Lost, since there are 125 trinkets, making it a 1 out of 124 chance to revive if 404 gave you missing poster. There is a character called Old Man Keeper hidden in the game files that was likely supposed to be the second Afterbirth character instead of Keeper, but it was scratched and replaced with the Keeper we know today. The old sprite is occasionally still used in dailies. Speaking of dailies, Isaac becomes Satoru Iwata, Nintendo's former president, occasionally on the dailies. He usually starts with the game kit and cartridge, which are references to Nintendo. Glass Cannon is affected by Papula Duplex. People think that Azazel isn't affected by homing shots, but think again. With enough range, he absolutely is. While you can't use Undefined to loop the chest anymore, you can loop infinitely on the Void. Diplopia cannot be Diplopia. I'm sure you're sad, Leo. Bumbo can actually drop items on item pedestals. So before you make a post on /r/Binding of Isaac asking where an item came from, just realize you have a maxed out Bumbo. Mom's Toenail creates an explosion, which means the damage from it can actually be avoided with Pyromaniac or Host Hat. Despite Tonsil being a trinket, it also
Oh my
is
god,
the
let me
only
through the
trinket
fucking
with an
door.
Item ID. You can't find it on a pedestal even though it has an ID, however you can spawn it on a pedestal. Mom's Eye only needs 2 luck to shoot a second tier 100% of the time. Loki's Horns, on the other hand, requires 7 luck to shoot 4 tiers 100% of the time. Butterbean has a small chance to turn into Wait What when swapping it from a pedestal. You can actually steal Devil Deals as the Forgotten. Switch from the Blue Lost back to the Forgotten when taking a deal that will kill you, and it won't kill you. You just then won't be able to play as the Blue Lost until you get in a Soul Heart. Contrary to some people's belief, Mr. Mega does provide benefit to Dr. Fetus and will give a significant damage upgrade to each bomb's shot. Speaking of Butterbean, it's arguable that its best synergy is actually Ghost Pepper, since it will activate every time you use Butterbean. The Converter combined with Guppy's Paw results in infinite HP because Edmund apparently does not know how to count. People know you can use Ventricle Razor to sneak out of Boss Rush or Curse Rooms, but did you know that you can play Devil Beggars for free with it? Delirious acts super weird as an item at times. If used in a 2x1 room, there's a chance it spawns Ultra Greed, which will instead target Isaac. It's a little bit awkward when it's supposed to help you. Delirious can also be used to get key pieces without fighting angels, sort of. If a spawn boss from Delirious dies while in an angel room, it's gonna drop a key piece. Sworn Protector and a turret can spawn infinite Eternal Hearts. That's pretty useful. Sacred Heart provides homing tiers, but also homing bombs, the effect of Bobby Bomb, but Spoonbender and Godhead do not. Take me out to the ball game.
Bro,
Play some
cornball.
baseball with the Forgotten. This is one of the most unique synergies in the game and comes when you have Ludo with the Forgotten. Definitely a home run. Did you know Spider Baby is actually a transformation? I wouldn't know because, oh look, half of the items that are spider related in the game don't goddamn contribute to it. Immaculate Conception, as many people know, gives familiars upon picking up parts, but items that apply health directly, like the Nail or Satanic Bible, do not help you at all. A lot of people think the relic simply drops a Spirit Heart every 4 rooms, but this isn't true. There's a specific pattern it goes through. 3, 4, 5, 4, 4, 1, 4, 4, 5, 4, 5. And then it goes back to the second position at 4, and it starts again. People think they understand damage in the game, but realistically there's more to it than what meets the eye. Cricket's Head and Magic Mushroom are 2 damage multipliers that will multiply your current damage by 1.5, but they don't stack. Proptosis and Eve's Mascara are 2 times multipliers, but can be stacked for a 4 times damage
I wonder if I have to
multiplication.
unlock
This is what makes
those,
Eve's Mascara actually a good item.
I had
The
those.
damage multiplier you probably don't know about, however, is Blood of the Martyr combined with the Book of Belial for a 1.5 damage multiplier. The Forgotten can open up Mimic chests or Spike chests with his melee attack without
Oh
taking
my
any
God.
damage. Black Candle will remove an amnesia pill, but not if you pop it after picking it up. Black Candle will also remove the curse from Cursed Eye, but not the curse from Curse of the Tower. You may think having BFFs in any of the sacks is just a meme since they don't do damage, but it actually makes them drop consumables more frequently. Why did Monstro drop the Bible? You most likely picked up the Rosary, which pushes copies of the Bible into different item pools until it is found and picked up. This also explains randomly finding it in your shop. The Fallen can only appear on a run where you've been inside of a Devil Deal. Maybe this is commonly known, but I had no clue. Speaking of the Fallen, you can re-roll his boss item into other Devil Deal items. Eden can start with any item in the game except for key piece 1 and key piece number 2. To go a bit more in-depth on that, to determine Eden's randomized items, the game's going to pick 101 random item IDs in an attempt to fill both the passive and active slot. After 101 attempts to fill them, the run starts. This means that theoretically, and there are other item IDs that Eden can't have because they don't physically have a collectible attached to them, but theoretically, Eden could start without a passive or active item if the game picks illegal IDs 101 times in a row. It's just really unlikely. You can learn more about that in my in-depth Eden video. Shameless plug, I know. Dropping your trinket and picking it back up can allow you to sneak past an item pedestal or chest that you don't want to pick up. IV bag can be used to ensure you don't lose your Devil Deal chance while still getting your curse room. Angelic Prisms stack, which means if you get lucky enough with Crooked Penny, you can Skittles Taste the Rainbow on everyone. Defeating Ultra Greedier will turn any poops in the room into golden poops. This is super useful with Card Against Humanity. Thunder Thighs, Samson's Chains, and anything else that can blow up rocks can also blow up the Angel statue. Halo of Flies doesn't deal contact damage to enemies unless they're flies. Contrary to popular belief, Blood Bag does not actually fully refill your red hearts. It will only fill 5 of your empty red hearts. Gemini physically cannot spawn in a room that doesn't have rocks in it. This means that you'll never see Gemini in the chest because the chest can't have rock spawn in it. It's pretty weird. And finally, one for you that no one knows, Chubb dislikes smoke. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button and let me know down below. Be sure to also put down some of your Isaac facts that you think that I might not know. I always love learning. Hey yo, hi everybody, and welcome back to another Binding of Isaac Top 10 video. This is a video that I actually never ever wanted to make because you guys are going to get opinionated as hell in the comments down below. But here we go. Top 10 worst items in Afterbirth Plus. Get hyped. Once again, I know you guys are going to have opinions. Feel free to leave them in the comments down below. I'd love to know how you feel about items, and I'd love to have some conversations with you guys. These are just my opinions. You got yours. We're in for some arguments, I'm sure. Now on to my refusal list. So this is new to the top 10 list, the refusal list. We just keep on evolving this damn series, man. So the refusal list is basically items that I refuse to put into the top 10 for reasons that I'll explain shortly. We're basically doing this because I know some of you are going to mention these items in the comments, and I want to just justify my decision now before you guys even say it.
I'm
Cursed
looking for
Eye.
a host
Cursed
pad
Eye
for
falls into that
Pyromania,
list of items that you just don't
and-
take on a run. Understandably why.
Yeah.
You likely won't beat Hush or
want that.
Delirium, or sometimes even just a basic room without being teleported out and screwed over. It's sucky, but it's not as horrible as other items. With Black Candle, Cursed Eye actually becomes a really good item. You can double, triple, or even quadruple your damage output without any consequence. If an item has the ability to be good, I don't really think it belongs on the top 10 worst list.
Okay, what?
Soy milk. See the previous statement for clarification. We literally have a video on the channel showing how good soy milk is. You're lying to yourself if you have it in the top 10 list. It's just goofy. Go pick up Libra and tell me soy milk is bad with a straight face. I dare you. Kamikaze, Minecrafter, and My Best Friend. These are all bad items. I'm not going to deny that. But they aren't the worst items because at the very least they're a bomb. This means a tinted rock, a pot, a secret room, or a bit of damage to a boss. Early game without a spacebar item, they can give you an edge to ensure you get that deal with the devil, or get the extra 2 cents needed for champion belt. I can't put an item like that in a top 10 worst list. Bob's Drain. This isn't a bad item, it's a risk-reward item. It's going to do a significant amount of damage to enemies if you control how you fire it. While it can hurt you, if you're cautious, it won't. I can't justify high damage being in the top 10. And finally, Isaac's Punch, also a risk-reward item. You'll essentially have infinite money through blood donation machines or items through demon feathers. You can step on spikes and creep. There's just a lot of benefits even though it limits your dodging. The fact that there's some benefits makes it difficult for me to put it on the list. Now on to the honorable mentions. Alright, honorable mentions. While we could have put the items before on the list, it's hard to not put these on. So they're going to be our honorable mentions. If I could do a top 14, I would, but that just looks a little bit weird as a title. The Hourglass. The Hourglass can be really useful. Slowing down enemies in a room is an incredibly powerful tool. The only problem is, this lasts like less than 10 seconds and is relatively useless against the boss. This makes it pretty bad. How to make it better? Just give it the stopwatch ability and now it's a pretty good active item. Strange Attraction. I think I speak for everyone when I say this item can suck Samson's ball and chain.
What in the fucking fuck?
Attracted towards your gears can make a very unpredictable situation in each room. It leads to a lot of damage, as many of you know. The only reason I don't have it in the top 10 is because it can be good in some synergies like Epic Fetus or Ludo. How can you make it better? Have the attraction start a second after the tear is shot. This stops enemies from flying directly at Isaac immediately. Mom's Pad. I don't even really want to talk about this item. Fearing enemies for 5 seconds is pretty useless, and just the concept behind the item is disturbing on around 18 different levels. The one positive is it helps with the mom transformation, which is generally not that great, but can be in certain circumstances, so you got that going for you. How can you make it better? Fear the enemies in the room until they're dead, and then just remove the damn graphic when you pop it. Scissors. This item is bad, but it can at least deal some damage around the room every 2 rooms. Being able to remove your head and have a stationary familiar firing in the room could be worse. It's also pretty okay on boss rush, as you can have many heads in the room all firing. How do you make it better? Just have the damage from the cut-off heads scale with Isaac's damage. This makes this a pretty fun item in all honesty, similar to Sprinkler, but still pretty fun. The Poop. You can get coins. That's about it. It's pretty useless, makes me think of Blue Baby, thus killing me a little bit on the inside. The top 10. Coming in at number 10, we got Monster Manual. This item was bad in the original game. So bad that they spelled it wrong. Monster Manuel, the Hispanic Loch Ness Monster. At least the name has changed in Rebirth, but sadly the item is still pretty bad. A random familiar every 3 rooms isn't going to help a whole hell of a lot on any run. Sure, a little Brimmer Incubus would be nice, but it's unreliable, and you're just going to end up with a lot of Brother Bobby. No hate there. How can we make it better? Have it only be a 2-room charge. Every other room makes it okay without it being overpowered. Or have it be a 1-room charge and then include the pool of co-op familiars. That would be really good. At 9, we got the D10. Rerolling enemies is something I just don't understand ever being a good idea. It can reroll into any enemy on any floor, and this can simply result in just very little positive situations. Used on some bosses like Gemini or Pin will result in even more enemies to fight. There's just not that many positives. That means it's fairly negative, and that means it belongs on this list. How can you make it better? Have it only reroll into enemies from the floor that you're on. Still not great, but it gets rid of those damn walking hosts you don't want to fight. Coming in at 8, we got Farting Baby. It's really no coincidence that this item's ID is 404. It's an error to even have it in the game. Having a chance of farting in the room is borderline useless in every scenario. Sure, it's gonna block some shots.
He'd be
Sure, it'll
freaking-
have the chance to poison or push away enemies, but it's still not enough to merit calling this even an okay item. To make this okay, you would have to have it fart every time it blocked a shot, and even then, it would still be pretty bad. Coming in at 7, we got Kidney Bean. Love Toots. I shouldn't even say any more than that, but a spacebar item that simply... What does Kidney Bean actually do? Okay, yeah, it charms enemies in a radius around you. Exciting. The fact that I didn't even know what it does proves that it's not that great of an item. The most you're going to get out of this is freezing some enemies for a few seconds, and that's going to give you a better ability to dodge. Not spectacular. How do you fix it? Have it do poison damage as well, so it does a nice little double whammy, but that's even still pretty bad. At 6, we got the jar. This one wins the award for walk into the shop, see the jar, not even mention it, and then walk right back out. It's just a bad item, man. Most people are trying to get rid of their red hearts, not collect them and carry them around while taking up an active item slot. I understand there's some synergies with the jar that can ultimately break the game, but most Isaac players aren't going to take the time to do that. There are so many better spacebar items to take up the slot of the jar. How can we turn this into a formidable item? Have it hold more hearts than just 4, and have it hold spirit hearts and black hearts too. Now you have a great item. At 5, we got Isaac's Tears. On paper, this item seems really good. Charge it up, Tammy's head style shot, it can be used multiple times in each room. Wrong. Since it does a small animation, it ends up hindering your ability to use it in a reasonable way in the room. It's another item that just isn't one I ever want to find in a shop because I just won't take it. There's a theme here. Bad active items, really bad. How can we make it better? Just get rid of the animation, and then it's an okay item. At 4, we got Abel. Okay, close your eyes and imagine this situation. It's Curse of the Blind. You see a golden chest, you have one key, you need the damage from Cricket's head, you need the damage from Guppy's head, you want the power of Goat head. You run into that question mark item in that golden chest, and Abel. Buzzkill. Abel's just a bad item. Controlling it to do any damage for you is incredibly difficult, and the little damage it does isn't even worth your time. I don't even have a lot of ways to make this guy better. Maybe have it have Kane's base damage because Kane and Abel blah 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 blah. I don't know. All I know is I'm sad when I see it. At 3, we got Breath of Life. Does anybody actually know how to use this item correctly? The fact that it's so rare to get since it's an Angel Deal item, and the fact that it takes up an active item slot makes me relatively displeased.
What happens if I
pick
get
it up.
Brimstone
I've never
at
used it correctly,
motherfucking
and frankly I don't plan
Zazel?
on it.
I'm
It
leaving.
can do things that Isaac's Heart can do, but there are usually many other active items I'd rather take by the time you get an item like this. How can you make it better? Give it more than like half a second of invincibility when you use it. Have it be like 2 seconds. Then I see the power of it. I feel this is one of my more opinionated ones, so if you're a Breath of Life lover, let me know down below. At 2, we got the Bean. Oh look, another Bean active item. What a common theme on this list. The Bean is pretty bad. Once a room, you can fart on your enemies. It'll
That's
do a
funny,
tiny
bro.
amount of damage and poison
Why do you
slightly,
not
but only
like
if you're
fun?
so
It's
close
fucking
to them that
hilarious.
they'll likely hit you. 10 out of 10 would take
bro.
again.
Come on,
It's just
do it.
bad. I seriously don't even
You're a
have much
hater.
else to say about it. And how can you make it better? You can't. It's bad.
You just fucking laugh at the fart joke.
And at number 1,
Fucking
Butter.
stuff shirt.
There he is. You all likely expected it. Butterbean. The best item, I mean the worst item
Bruh.
in the game. It's horrible. Knockback is something you never want in the game anyway, so to apply it to an active item is just the largest screw you on the planet. The item is so bad that they had to make wait what to make you have a chance of being slightly happier with picking up Butterbean. Even the developers of the game know it's a meme. It's bad, but sometimes you need bad items to make you love and respect the good items,
Brimstone?
like soy milk.
No.
If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. Let me know down below what you guys think should or shouldn't be on this list. I'd love to talk to you guys and come to a conclusion on a better top 10 list. Also, if you'd like to join the Alexa... Hello everybody, welcome back to another Binding of Isaac top 10 video. Except this one's times 2. That's right, we're doing top 20 soy milk synergies, not top 10. A little over a year ago, I released a video about the top 10 soy milk synergies, and frankly, I was just wrong about a lot of things in that video and figured I needed to make a new one. In this video, I want to emphasize that soy milk is a fickle beast. On its own, it isn't very powerful, but this video should prove to you that it can be a catalyst for an extremely powerful run, given other stat upgrades and items. I'm not going to sit here and tell you to take soy milk on every run, leave that to stupid people like me. But I'm also not going to tell you the best synergy for soy milk is the D6. There are absolutely runs that will benefit from taking soy milk on them, and you should know about when to take soy milk and when not to. So without further ado, let's hop right in. Number 20, Head of the Keeper. This is a valuable synergy on this list because it does something that none of the other 19 items I'm going to say can do. It gives you something different from DPS. Having Head of the Keeper tiers is going to make coins explode out of enemies at an alarming rate, giving you a plethora of money on a run to spend in shops, arcades, and simply utilize to build a better run. It also works incredibly well with the other synergies on this list and can give your run an early jump in the right direction. I mean, seriously, look at all of the money I'm getting just on the first floor of the game. Definitely beneficial. Number 19, the Mulligan. The Mulligan is a tricky one to see the benefit of here. As many of you know, the Mulligan spawns flies based on your firing of tiers. You may think, holy crap, that's going to be a lot of flies, Tyler. And you're right. There's a small issue, though. Blue flies actually scale with your own damage. So the damage these flies are going to do is minuscule in comparison to a normal run, which puts it so low on this list. It's still extra damage, though. And as a helper item on a soy milk run, it can scale nicely to create a huge nest egg of blue flies on a run and help annihilate rooms later on. Number 18, Flatstone. The new Booster Pack 5 item. I'm going to be completely honest with you, there is a reason that it's here. It looks dope. There's always at least one on my list where I'm just like, yeah, this just looks really cool. It's fairly effective as well. You can see it does some extra damage with the splashes, but it simply does not compare to other synergies on this list. It's just a lot of bouncing. Sue me for liking bouncing. Number 17, more shot items. Okay, sure, I'm grouping a couple things in here, but I reassure you they all kind of function the same. Anything that adds more shots to soy milk is essentially going to double, triple, or even quadruple your damage output. Since Innerai and Mutant Spider don't heavily hurt your rate of fire with soy milk, the extra shots will help to do extra damage. Obviously, 2020 is still your go-to dream here, but we're talking about an S tier item. Sure, Godhead and Sacred Heart together are great with soy milk too, but you ain't gonna see those in this list. Overall, they're a nice benefit to have with soy milk, but they aren't going to be able to transform your run into power, which is why you're so low on this. Number 16, Cricket's Body / Compound Fracture. When life hands you a lot of tears, let those tears go. This is a simple synergy. One tear is going to help you do more damage. The only issue is these shots are going to do way less damage than they normally would, which is going to make clearing rooms a little bit difficult to start. This is a synergy that might not entice you early on a run, but paired with other items on this list, such as the one following this one, you can create a really unstoppable run with great damage. Number 50, Eye of Belial. One of my favorite items in the game, we're beginning to see synergies that really shine in soy milk. The problem with an item like soy milk is not the low damage, it's the knockback. Technically, soy milk is a very similar DPS to before you pick it up, as the high rate of fire makes up for the low damage. However, the knockback is what makes enemies hit, which then lowers the amount of damage that you're doing. Piercing shots help with that. By nailing every shot on an enemy, they're going to feel a full amount of damage, and you'll be surprised how quickly they die. With Eye of Belial being able to pierce enemies, and then have an extra few hits come in afterwards on enemies, it makes crowd control a heck of a lot easier, which is normally difficult to do with base soy milk. I like it. Number 14, Little Horn. Little Horn is fantastic with soy milk for clearing out rooms. Little Horn, for those that don't know, will instantly kill an enemy that gets hit with a Little Horn shot. When you're firing out significantly more shots, you're going to get significantly more Little Horn shots. Basic Isaac algebra here tells me you'll be able to insta-kill more enemies in a room than you would with a normal rate of fire plus Little Horn. This combo makes you not have to worry about your damage to clear rooms, as you'll be one-shotting most enemies. The only reason this synergy isn't higher is because it's not going to help you on bosses. Now, you'll likely have a nest egg of HP, which can help you tank bosses a bit more and succeed, but for a top 20 list, you gotta make cuts somewhere. Number 13, Technology Zero. Is there anything this item doesn't actually synergize with? Technology Zero and soy milk might hurt your ears, but more importantly, it'll hurt your enemies. Since the lasers aren't as strongly affected by soy milk's damage down, they're still going to do a good amount of damage to enemies in conjunction with the soy milk shots hitting. It's a very satisfying synergy that is a net positive on any run. I also figured I had to include a tech item on this list because I know, I see you, Jeremy. I see you posting in the comments, where's Tech X, Tyler? Tech X soy milk gives you carpal tunnel for crappy damage. I'm not putting that on this list. Number 12, sinus infection. Sinus infection is simply another item I just love in this game. Sticking boogers to enemies that then eat away at their HP while you can focus on other enemies is just simply too powerful with soy milk when dealing with more than one enemy in the room. Sure, the boogers scale with damage, they'll be doing a small amount of damage to start, but with the other upgrades you'll get on your run, this can be a lethal boss killer for soy milk, which is usually the main concern for this item. Number 11, Ipecac. Jesus, this was number 3 on my last list. What the hell happened? Ipecac giveth and Ipecac taketh away. Give me bomb immunity and all of a sudden this item might jump back to number 3 on this list. Sadly, you aren't always going to get bomb immunity, and despite the great damage this is going to do to enemies, your chance of killing yourself with it is just way too damn high to merit putting it higher on this list. I really don't want to discount the damage it does though, because if you can control yourself and play smart, this item is top tier, no pun intended, with soy milk, but most players simply won't have the patience to use this synergy to its true potential. Number 10, Lacrophagy. Another new booster item proving its worth was soy milk. The damage it creates when the tears form a mega burst is actually pretty big and can hurt enemies. Since you're firing out so many shots at a time, you're forming more and more bursts, which is helping fill the room with tears and hurt enemies. This would pair lovely with an item like Tech Zero or Eye of Belial to create an absolutely monster of a run. I've never been high on Lacrophagy as an item, but it is excellent with soy milk. Number 9, Chemical Peel and Blood Clot. This is simply a synergy of Isaac IQ. Blood Clot and Chemical Peel both only affect the left eye tears from Isaac, but their damage they give is not used in the damage equation. What does this mean? The +3 damage upgrade on left eye tears from the synergy will apply directly to your tear, not be affected by soy milk. This means that every other tear you shoot is doing practically triple your current damage. That's ridiculous. You can really see the difference when clearing rooms, but it can also be really solid on boss fights. Don't sleep on this synergy. Number 8, Jacob's Ladder. Another one to hurt the ears, but it's clearly the superior synergy to its previous ear run. Jacob's Ladder will spew out a ton of electricity sparks upon having your soy milk tears hit anything in the room. While these electric sparks aren't going to one-shot enemies, they're going to give you a way to deal damage to enemies at range in a room. You can fire at a wall and the sparks will hit numerous enemies on the other side of the room. This can help crowd control, but also deals massive amounts of damage and your tears are also hitting. Plus, realistically, who doesn't love Jacob's Ladder? Number 7, Ludo. This is probably the first controversial one on this list because I know some people just despise Ludo with a passion, but since it's one of my favorite items in the game, I have to represent it here. Since one of soy milk's biggest downsides is its knockback, this synergy helps remove that. Now you can apply straight soy milk damage and rate of fire to enemies directly without worrying about them moving through the knockback. With a few damage upgrades or an item like Monster's Lung, this synergy will melt enemies and even bosses. It's pretty much the most satisfying thing on this earth to watch the boss HP bar slide down when using this synergy. Number 6, Mysterious Liquid. A crapload of high damage creep all over the ground in every single room? Sign me up. Mysterious Liquid may not give a stat upgrade to Isaac, but it does give you a way to deal extra damage in large quantities. By having more shots creating more creep, the floor becomes a don't touch the lava game for enemies and they'll be forced to take more damage in rooms. This can help clear bosses much quicker as well. It's not the flashiest thing, but it gets the job done. Number 5, Dr. Fetus. It's tough to have to put Ipecac so low and this so high, but I feel like this one is a bit more controllable than Ipecac. You'd likely be firing out around 3 bombs at a time, which then wait a few moments before exploding. This allows you to judge where you'll be to escape the explosion and deal high amounts of damage to enemies. The synergy also just simply gets better with the more bomb synergies you have, and let's be fair, you get a lot of bomb synergies on runs. Combining it with bomb immunity is essentially a for sure GG, but without it, it's still a great synergy if you're careful. For the love of God, be careful. You're literally dealing with bombs. Number 4, Explosivo. I know, explosions
Watch,
are
I'm gonna
good,
get
but
this out of
Explosivo
one of
is
these
so
ones back.
good with soy milk. Land a few shots on each enemy and run away. You'll be
I'm
clearing
killing
rooms and
myself
not
and taking
even
forever,
remotely worrying about your
and then I'm gonna
damage,
fuck
as
it
the
up.
Explosivo
I'm
shots
actually
are
be able to
going
kill
to
the
do
boss in a
more
minute.
damage than you could ever hope for. Soy milk simply lets more Explosivo shots hit you. You can absolutely litter enemies with explosives. It's like you're throwing a crap load of sticky grenades. So satisfying. Number 3, Lump of Coal. Lump of Coal is a good item. Don't complain about getting it from Krampus. Quite me too. I know in the video I'm showing off Lump of Coal and Tiny Planet, but that's because it's simply one of the best soy milk synergies out there. I promise you though, Lump of Coal on its own is still really good. Getting extra damage on borderline every shot can add up when soy milk's damage is so low to start. Dealing with clusters of enemies at range becomes much easier as you'll then be clearing them quicker with your higher damage at range. It's just a win-win synergy, and if you choose to do Devil Deal, you'll have a great chance of getting this on your run. Number 2, Death's Touch. Death's Touch combines a lot of the stuff we talked about from the other items on this list. First, we know it gives us a damage upgrade. This can help make soy milk even a bit more bearable. Then it gives us Piercing Shot, which we also said is a top tier synergy for soy milk. And finally, it looks dope as hell. Look at how many sides you have. It's an incredibly strong synergy that just incorporates. It'll scale well with a lot of the other items on this list. It can help you to create a very strong high rate fire run with soy milk. And number 1, Libra. I really thought it was going to get dethroned, honestly. When I recorded the footage for it, I went, yeah, no. Libra soy milk is still legit. It doesn't matter what order you take it in, it's going to kill enemies and it's going to kill them fast. Not only is your damage good, but your speed maxes out too. You'll be clearing rooms faster than Flash on a roller coaster. It's unfair to even have other synergies on this list now because of how much Libra just blows others out of the water. At least promise me you'll pick up this one. Like I said, soy milk is a fickle beast on a run. It's difficult to gauge whether or not the item will be worth it for you to pick up, but with these synergies, you're likely going to have a fun time regardless of what your damage stat turns out to be. Embrace the soy milk. It's a lovely item. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy, remember to leave a like and let me know what your favorite soy milk synergy is in the comment section down below. The first person to say CP6 is getting a swift kick in the ass though, I'm just warning you. Let me know some ideas for some more top 10s down below. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Top 10 times you didn't kill yourself playing Binding of Isaac. Fucking dog. Don't get that shit out of my ear.
Hello there, everybody, and welcome to the first Top 10 Synergy video of Repentance on my channel. For those that have been living under a rock, Repentance is the new tiny DLC that added a ton of new items, floors, characters, and most importantly, synergies. Today we're going to take a look at 10 of my new favorite
Slam
synergies
my
in Repentance.
penis in a
But
car
most
door.
these are synergies that are new to already existing items from Afterbirth Plus. We're going to look at some of the big guns, Brimstone, Mom's Knife, Tech X, and see what's been added to them as new and fun synergies. Without further ado, let's just get going. My favorite synergies in Isaac are when you take a controversial item and somehow turn it good. I also love when two decent items have a synergy that's absolutely terrible, such as Mom's Knife and Tiny Planet. It was god-awful in Afterbirth Plus, like, actually god-awful. But is it the same in Repentance? Take these two items now and you have an absolute whirlwind of knife damage, a barrage from your body that can quickly wipe rooms. It looks fantastic, and it definitely adds some value to both of them. And if you add Brimstone to it, yeah, things get a little wonky. I'm known for a lot of soy milk synergy videos, well, just 2, but who's counting? And yes, I will be making a new one for Repentance. But let's take a look at a few of my new favorite soy milk synergies now. Brimstone and soy milk used to just give you a low damage Brimstone that quickly recharged, so by the end of your run, your fingers looked like Jim Carrey playing the Grinch from the carpal tunnel you received. But in Repentance, these two items turn into a complete barrage of... yeah, I'm not going to say it. but it's a barrage, and it's incredibly fun and satisfying to use. Pairing this with some homing or some other tier synergies, and you have a legitimately great killer on your run. Brimstone isn't the only item that benefits from soy milk, though. Introducing Tech Milk. That's not a good name. Soy Milk Tech X now creates an endless shock of Tech X shots, similar to how Brimstone works, that will charge automatically, creating this staticky, loud mess of destruction. The only problem with this synergy is your ears may be bleeding at the end of it, but boy is it nice to look at and super fun to use. Definitely worth picking up. Speaking of Tech X, it got a fun little new synergy called Rubber Cement. The dream of filling a room with bouncing Tech X shots is now a reality. They have infinite range. They'll bounce around forever and destroy everything in the room in its path. And yes, since I know you want to see it, Soy Milk Rubber Cement Tech X is incredibly fun. Let's shift gears away from Tech X but go to its less powerful yet widely respected brother, Technology. Technology got a bunch of buffs in Repentance with its synergies, especially the incredible new sound that it makes. One of my favorites, and since apparently I'm a masochist, I really enjoy it. Technology
I did not
First
just walk
Eye
into him.
in Repentance. Now allowing for a charge, you can release a powerful burst of technology laser shots at enemies and completely wipe them. Yes, you still have the chance to teleport if you don't know how to use Cursed Eye, but the damage output from this is enough to carry you on its
If you
own
don't know
for
how
the
to
first
use
few
Cursed
floors of the
Eye, what the
game.
fuck?
Super fun and very unique. Another really fun one with technology is the Parasite. What used to do absolutely nothing now creates this funky splitting beam of technology when it hits an enemy or a wall. How effective is it? I mean, it's not incredible, but it looks really cool. And the best part is this isn't the
Bruh.
only item with this new
Have
incredible effect. Brimstone also has it, and it's even stronger than the Parasite technology because it kind of bursts itself across the room, dealing massive damage. It's the extra attention to fun synergies like this that make exploring Repentance that much better. Another fun Brimstone and technology is Lacrophae. This item was pretty synergistical with Birth before, and now it's even better. When you fire Brimstone or technology, you fire a short-range shot that then splits into Lacrophae shots. With technology, this may actually just be horrible, but with Brimstone, you can make some huge shots.
Oh, that's
Bursts with
bullshit.
a ton of damage. It's definitely a fun synergy.
Bruh.
And you know what? While we're on the Brimstone train, let's give you one more. Brimstone My Reflection. Sometimes this was a synergy in Afterbirth Plus. You're right, and it sucked. Now, it's pretty awesome. You get this little loop-de-loop of destruction that comes back and deals damage behind you as well as in the front. I love the ability to hit some trick shots with this and crossing whole rooms with a backward movement. It's definitely a great change, as the synergy in Afterbirth Plus is honestly just unusable. Now for a bit of a dangerous one, a bit of an explosive one, Ipecac. So how has Ipecac changed? Well, all of our favorite overpowered items now synergize, and it's pretty spicy how good it is. Let's take Mom's Knife for example. The tip of the knife is now armed with a pretty explosive Ipecac shot into its enemy. So when you hit them by launching the knife, it'll explode, which deals even more damage. It won't hit you if you're just doing melee attacks, so you can stop yourself from taking damage. This does do a lot of damage to enemies, but you also still have that Ipecac chance to take some damage yourself. Brimstone and technology also get affected by this, allowing Ipecac damage to be done when the beam hits the enemy. It's super strong, and it makes Ipecac more fun, and in a lot of ways even better in Repentance. And finally, easily one of the weirdest new synergies that has captured my heart, Aquarius. What? You're telling me your favorite synergy is an item that just puts some creep on the ground? Yes, Aquarius now synergizes with homing tiers, meaning that your creep will home in on enemies and deal a ton of damage. It's such an awkward and chaotic looking synergy, but it's one of the
Fuck, I
coolest
forgot
ones
to
that
cover
I've
this
seen
thing.
in Repentance. We can now officially win runs without ever shooting a single tier. If that's not exciting, I don't even know what is. thank you guys so much for watching. This is just one drop
Not
of
the
the
run.
amazing synergies in the Ocean of Repentance. There's so many more to explore and genuinely so much content in the DLC to unpack and see. Let me know your favorite new synergy in the comments down below. If
Give
you like this video,
Azazel the
let me know.
ability
Maybe
to
we'll
jump.
do a little top 10
Sure.
new Brimstone synergy video or a top 10 new Mom's Knife synergy video. Could be fun to dig in a little deeper at some of the new synergies to those items. You can check out my Everyday Repentance series, linked in the description down below. We're making our way through all of the new unlocked characters in the game, all while having some good laughs. Fun run.
Dr.
Thank you guys
Peter's
so much
time.
for watching. I'll see you in the next one. You have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye. Hello there, everybody, and welcome back to the long-awaited sequel. Literally my most popular video of all time. The new top 10 Brimstone Synergy video from the new DLC, The Binding of Isaac. For those that may be new to The Binding of Isaac, Brimstone is one of the game's most loved items. Found in Devil Deals, it turns you into exactly that, a devil, shooting giant blood barrages out of Isaac's mouth, obliterating all of his enemies. Even with its American repentance, it's still only about Isaac. And paired with some other items, it can be absolutely game winning. I'm gonna be honest with you though, I used to do top 10 videos, but I feel like they're way too limiting at this point. There's too many Brimstone synergies to limit us to just 10. We could do 20, we could do 30, but instead,
How's it?
let's just appreciate the exemplar item and look at a ton of the great synergies this item has.
I figured if you
Without
did
further
Vex L4
let's
and ran
get
through
going.
it quick enough, it might
The
give it to
King
you.
of
But
Soy Milk returns and he has the new heat and returns. Brimstone and Soy Milk no longer gives you carpal tunnel to use it, and instead gives you a nice continuous beam of soy milk that you can fire all around the room. While the damage is low, you can use it at range to take care of enemies still pretty quickly. The synergy really shines as you get a few more upgrades to it. Things like homing can really start to make it fun, or if you just want pure power, then obviously Rock Bottom can be absolutely disgusting as the damage downgrade from soy milk won't be applied. Milky Brim is a load of good fun and a good indication of what kind of synergies change from Brimstone and Repentance, but soy milk isn't actually the only Milky Brim ingredient. Insert almond milk into the equation. This anti-milk turned Repentance item gives you soy milk level stats, but with random worm trinkets assigned, so yes, it's absolutely chaotic and a bit uncontrollable, but it looks stupid cool. Speaking of worm trinkets, Brain Worm is a new fun synergy in Brimstone. For those that don't know, Brain Worm makes your tier snap to 90-degree angles to hit enemies when a tier misses. So it's kind of like a perfect auto-aim system. This absolutely works with Brimstone, and being able to snap means that the Brimstone beam would initially not hit. This in turn makes it actually a better form of homing in most rooms. It's stupid strong, and since trinkets are in some ways easier to come by, you might be able to sneak this one into existence pretty often. There's also other worm trinkets that affect how the Brimstone beam looks, but these are a little less strong and are mainly visual, but I mean, come on, they do look really cool, right? Along with Brain Worm, there's some other Brimstone synergies that snap the beam against enemies in fun new ways. Parasite, for example, now makes the Brimstone beam split when it hits an enemy or a wall. This results in a kind of high-damage perpendicular beam that can wipe through rooms. It can sometimes be advantageous to miss enemies in order to hit multiple enemies at the same time. It kind of just changes the way you think about using Brimstone, and that's what I love about it. Brimstone got a ton of new synergies in Repentance that kind of change how the item works, and the item moved from an insta-win in every scenario to now having some items make it really strong but force your brain to use it differently. And And that's what really makes it worth picking up in Repentance, even for Isaac veterans who don't want the easy win. So now let's transition and look at some items that make you have more brimstone beams, because the more beam, the more fun, right? Presenting 120. 2 brimstone beams. Presenting Inner Eye. 3 brimstone beams. Presenting Mutant Spider. 4 brimstone beams. Presenting 2020, Inner Eye, and Mutant Spider. I don't know, dude, like 7 brimstone beams? Presenting 2 2020s, 2 Inner Eyes, and 2 Mutant Spiders. Too many brimstone beams. Presenting all of that, but I also added like 7 angelic prisms. Okay, just stop. We don't always shoot extra beams when you're just in the forward direction. Maybe we want a little backwards action, say Mom's Eye. At just 5 bucks, you will always have a second brimstone beam shooting out of the back of your head, allowing you to deal a pretty massive amount of damage to your armor and also your other weapons. But what if I need more beam, Tyler? I need beam on the verticals, too. Well, Loki's horns is the item for you. Shooting similar to Krampus's head, you can get this effect 100% of the time with just 15 luck on it. Now, it normally is hard to get 15 luck, but with the Perfection Trinket and a couple of pills, I mean, this is basically infinite Krampus's head. That's pretty strong and really, really fun. So now I'm gonna put you through the Brain Destroyer a little bit. No, not more Brain Worm, we're done with him, but what happens if you take Brimstone with Brimstone? Does it give you 2 Brimstone beams like it did in Afterbirth Plus? Well, we're about to find out. Drumroll, please.
Bro.
No, it doesn't. But it does do this, and with 16 Brimstone beams, it looks like this. And we're gonna see how it looks with some other synergies as we go. But let's continue on. Next up, we got Chocolate Milk. Previously in Afterbirth Plus, these two items didn't really have a lot of interaction. It was just a small DPS increase. But now we have a much more interesting item. Now the Brimstone Beam can be released at any point, similar to Chocolate Milk, and that then affects the size of the beam. So at a full charge, you get this real nice, spicy, big boom. But at smaller charges, you get a weaker, more pitiful, less spicy, big boom. This is a really unique way to handle this item combination, and I love that they took the time to make it. Now let's go for a weird new item, Eye of the Occult. When you get this combination, the Brimstone Beam will automatically charge, and then attempt to go and hit the target while curving around a little. It can be wonky to control, but once you understand it, you can get some really incredible and massive damage plays in rooms filled with enemies. Obviously, adding things like Brainworm and Home just makes it even more insane of a synergy, but on its own, it's still pretty nuts. I also want to take the time to bring up an item from Afterbirth Plus that I really like with this too, Anti-Gravity. You can create the anti-gravity portals around the room that then have their own Eye of the Occult madness when they shoot their Brimstone Beam. It's a really fun way to bring in that old synergy into this new one. This seems like a good time to mention some of the insane synergies that are still in the game from Afterbirth Plus. Tammy's Head Brimstone is still really good and will wipe most rooms. It doesn't benefit from the damage up that Tammy's Head gives you anymore, so it is a bit weaker, but it's still insane and can bust through rooms really quickly. And of course, as well, adding homing to it just makes it even more insane. And of course, adding another Brimstone to it makes it even more insane. Tiny Planet is also the same as it was in Afterbirth Plus, despite Tiny Planet getting a bit of an overhaul in Repentance. It's fun to get a little circular Brimstone Beam around your head that deals massive damage and protects you from all angles. There aren't many synergies for Brimstone that give you the kind of circular protection around you, and this can be useful when you get stuck in corners with enemies and such. But while Tiny Planet is the same, My Reflection definitely isn't. This was a bit of an anti-synergy in Afterbirth Plus. They were close to impossible to use together, but My Reflection in Brimstone and Repentance is pretty fun now. Creating a bit of a loop-de-loop with the brimstone allows you to do similar damage to Mom's Eye with the bit of brimstone beam going behind your body, but without the luck requirement. It's such a refreshing change from having the garbage synergy in Afterbirth Plus. I love the changes. Mom's Knife and Brimstone is still super fun too. Releasing a barrage of knives out of Isaac's body to wipe out enemies quickly, and it's easily one of the coolest looking synergies in the game. I feel like this is one of the synergies that you show someone first getting into Isaac to convince them that there's a ton of awesome mechanics and synergies in the game. It's been there since Rebirth, still looks just as phenomenal, and it also looks absolutely ridiculous when you combine it with Tiny Planet. I mean, just look at that. My brain is melting just seeing it. Speaking of other items that are normally an insta-win if you pick them up, but you can add Brimstone to it to make it more interesting, Tech X, arguably the best item in the game in Afterbirth Plus, is still very good in Repentance, and it's still a very fun synergy as well. Shooting rings of brimstone around the room is super satisfying to look at, and you can watch the rooms melt. Ludo is another honorable mention of the Brimstone Synergy family, creating a circular beam of hell that you can freely move around rooms to deal a ton of damage. It's like the devil equivalent of Circle of Protection, except it's 15 times bigger and stronger and obliterates enemies really quickly. Okay, back to some new ones. Sulfuric Acid. It has all of the brilliant brimstone beaming mechanics combined with the min-maxing mechanics of sulfuric acid. You can crack open every rock-hot skull with your brimstone beam, and that creates some insane value because you're then saving your bombs. The same exact kind of rock-destroying synergy also occurs with the Terra item found inside of planetariums, so you can definitely see this a little bit more often if you decide to go down the planetarium route. I will say, I wish this synergy allowed you to open up super rooms since sulfuric acid can do that, but sadly it doesn't appear that it can. I'm still happy they took the time to implement this kind of quality of life synergy because it really makes a difference. So now we go into the list of tier modifier adder synergies. What do I mean by this? I mean, look, there's several items that were tier effects that added effects to enemies, but broke and weren't there when picking up brimstone, similar to sulfuric acid. Quite a few of them have been updated now to be useful, so let's hop into them. Sinus infection. The brimstone beam can now put the boogers onto enemies, which gives them a pretty massive damage bonus on top of the already strong brimstone. Sinus infection is one of the most underrated items in the game, so combining it with an item like brimstone just makes it even better. Holy Light and Brimstone used to waste another great item's potential. Now, we have the ability for the Holy Light to activate on enemies and cause beams of destruction around the room. Holy Light is another one of the most underappreciated items in the game, as that Crack the Sky effect is insane. Having Brimstone be able to spawn it multiple times in the same room? That's just crazy. Explosivo is another explosive synergy that lands on the list here. Previously doing nothing, now it will generate Explosivo shots on the enemy when you fire your Brimstone beam at them. This allows for both regular enemies and bosses to get absolutely riddled with Explosivo shots. This kills them pretty quickly, and to be honest with you, this is probably one of the strongest synergies in the game for Brimstone, and I'm not even exaggerating. The enemies just don't stand a chance against this one. And speaking of explosive synergies, what if Ipecac synergized properly with Brimstone? Well, today might be your lucky day. Now we can have a massive explosive damage burst at the end of our Brimstone beam when we hit enemies, rocks, bots, secret rooms. You get the picture. The Ipecac synergies added in Repentance really make this item remain a strong risk-reward item, exchanging beautiful damage for that possible self-explosion no matter the item you get. And the final synergy in the same vein is Jacob's Ladder. Everybody's favorite electric item. Okay, 120 volt is good, we enjoy it too, but I mean, Jacob's Ladder is excellent, and it comes with an excellent new synergy in Repentance. The beam changes colors a bit, and it now generates sparks when hitting objects and enemies in the room, which can create some bursts of damage across enemies, dealing a ton of damage to them. I think the best part of the synergy is just the look, feel, and sound. hearing the zap of electricity coming out of your brimstone, such a good vibe. I love this synergy. Cricket's body is a good one for just generating a slew of chaos into your run. Now, the brimstone beam will have random tears flying off of it in all directions whenever you fire. This might not look like it's much, but with some other synergies in this list, you can start to get some really chaotic stuff. For example, let's take like Cricket's body, My Reflection, and Loki's Yoki. How is anything ever going to avoid that? So another new item, we've got Ocular Rift. This vortex-creating item can spawn multi-dimensional black holes on our enemies when the brimstone beam hits, sucking them in and then doing a massive amount of damage. This effect feels very similar to one of my favorite synergies from Afterbirth Plus, which is Brimstone and Stream Attraction. It kind of groups a bunch of enemies together, and then you can deal a huge amount of damage to that group of enemies. I love it. Some oldies but some goodies come from the Afterbirth Plus booster pack items. Haemolacria, Lacrophagy, and
Alright,
Flop.
we're here to party.
Along with Brimstone, they each now have pretty unique synergies. Haemolacria will shoot out some little Brimstone tears that then split into strong Brimstone bursts on a smaller Tammy's head scale. Super fun from launching it in the room and then watching the destruction ensue. Lacrophagy now makes Brimstone a short-range weapon, akin to Azazel's Brimstone. You can make a huge Lacrophagy tear that then splits and deals a ton of burst damage. If you don't mind the short range, this can be an absolute killer. Pop creates some new shots around the room to fire your short range beam, and can
Alright, we're on
shots
course.
quickly that do a
Let me
lot
not
of
put
damage.
this on.
This is probably the weakest of the group, but it's still a fun new interaction and an interesting synergy. What really gets interesting though is when you combine all three of these items at the same time with Brimstone. That's right, it removes the Brimstone beam unless you hit an enemy. You fire about one tier every minute that then splits and bursts into a ton of other shots. Once you hit an enemy though, is it strong? Yes. Yes it is. It'll clear out rooms pretty quick and do a ton of damage. It's just a little slow, but hey, aren't we all? And finally, our last synergy, and maybe the best, Sumptorium. That's right, Tainted Eve's starting item is one of my new favorite Brimstone synergies in Repentance. For those that haven't seen Tainted Eve at all and don't know what Sumptorium does, it essentially
What?
removes red hearts.
Said host that would
create
protect
little
me.
blood clots in
Why is this happening? Go
so
on.
essentially, with what they deal with hearts, you can create a small army of blood clots that all fire Brimstone. Who needs
I'm
like
looking it
6
up.
mutant spiders when instead you can just spend like 5 red hearts and have a huge barrage of Brimstone firing and wiping rooms? The damage output from this is insane, and you don't get the tears down from adding the extra shots. It's just crazy, cold-hearted damage and one of my favorite synergies in Repentance. Thank you guys so much for watching. This video was a lot of fun to make, albeit a bit longer than my normal top 10s. If you enjoyed this new style, please let me know, as I'd be happy to do some more synergy videos in the future. Yes, I know you want the rock bottom synergy video. It'll come, don't worry. Let me know your favorite Brimstone synergy in the comments down below. You guys can also check out my Everyday Repentance series linked in the description down below. We play through the entirety of the unlocks in Repentance, grinding the 19 new characters, the challenges, the post-its, just enjoying everything the DLC has to offer. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Hello there, everybody, and welcome to my definitive tier maker, my ranking of all 34 characters in the Binding of Isaac Repentance. A lot of you have been asking for this. I've finally played all the Tainted characters enough to be able to formulate
I don't think that's gonna work.
what is going on with these characters. I'm gonna go into a little bit of detail about my opinions of each of them. Keep in mind that this entire video will be based on my own opinions. That means that it's not the definitive ranking on the powers of each character, right? Because if I do that, guess guess what? Azazel's an S tier. But I don't think Azazel's an S tier character because I don't think Azazel's a so this is going to be my opinionated ranking. I'll talk a little bit about the new characters a bit more than the regular characters. We do have a ranking video already made on the original game. So I will re-rank them. A couple of the positions I think have changed for me from when I did the rankings originally. So I want to kind of just put all 34 on the map and see what happens. I think it's a good idea. So without further ado, let's get going. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna try to do the original 17 first and get through them pretty quickly. So Apollyon. Apollyon is D tier for me. Why is Apollyon D tier for me? It's really quite simple. Apollyon relies on gimmick, and that gimmick is called the Void, right? Without the Void, Apollyon is just a basic character with nothing special about him. It would have been really easy for them to do some interesting stuff with him, right? Maybe if he voids 3 items, his wings grow back and he gets like something unique to make him different from Isaac picking up the void in the first item room, right? So I don't really like Apollyon for that reason. I think the void is a pretty lazy item. It encourages not picking up items and instead just voiding them to get stats. You can win every run as Azazel if you just void every item in the game. So I think it's a lazy character. I don't really like him. He's B tier. Kain. Kain is an S tier character. He's a very simple character, but especially in Repentance now, he is so S tier it's ridiculous because Luckfoot now gives you the PhD effect. So you get pills completely free to use for the entire run, pretty much. You get that block. It's just a nice character to play to give you that nice normal Isaac experience, right? There's nothing too out of the ordinary. It's just nice base Isaac gameplay, and the runs tend to be pretty strong because starting with Luckfoot is a pretty good starting item. Blue Baby. See, Blue Baby's a tough one to kind of gauge, but I'm gonna put him in B tier. I think I might have put him in C tier in my original ranking. I put him in B tier for this reason. Blue Baby is a bit of an incentive to play a little different, right? You gotta be a little bit more defensive focused as Blue Baby because you're constantly fighting for health, only being able to carry soul hearts, not being able to take any red HP. Now, with Devil Deals being a little weaker than Angel Deals, I think there's a stronger incentive to go to Angel Deals with Blue Baby. I think it's actually just vital to go to Angel Deals with Blue Baby. You can get a little bit of extra HP there. Being able to guarantee the Angel Deal by skipping the Devil Deal, I think is also huge for this character. And in general, I just think that it's a good challenge character, right? I think that it's good to have hard characters in the game. I've always been a fan of the harder characters in the game. In my ranking, we put some harder characters higher in the game for that reason. But Blue Baby is still not an amazing character because there's not really a special gimmick with him. It's just, I think it's a good hard character. So B tier. Eve. This is base Eve, not tainted Eve. I think Eve is probably a little better than Blue Baby just because of the exact opposite reason, right? Eve, you have this incentive to play really dangerous. You have an incentive to drop all your HP, or at least go down to 1 red heart to get that Horde Babylon bonus. Eve is miserable to play if you don't go the Horde Babylon route, so you can essentially just try to go for Devil Deals and work from there as Eve. It can be a miserable character to play if you are not as good at the game and you're constantly losing your Devil Deal chance, things like that. But I hate to say it like this, but like kind of get good, right? You have to get deals in Isaac to get good. And that can make you a hard character if you're struggling with getting deals on your run. But I think it's a B tier character. You can get some pretty strong runs because of Horde Babylon and the Razor, right? You can get some funky stuff going there. So I think B is a solid tier. Let's go Keeper. Next, that to me is a new Repentance character. We'll wait there. I think Keeper is genuinely an A tier character now, and I would argue maybe even S tier. But I think high A is what I want to put him. Keeper's been changed in Starting with an extra heart container, I think is a huge, huge bonus as the keeper. Also having the ability to take devil deals now with money is a massive change for the character. That was one of my biggest issues with the keeper, is that it kind of alienated an entire mechanic from the game by playing as him. You couldn't really take deals at all because your health, you would put yourself in a one-shot scenario. You started with 2 hearts, and you go into a double deal, you pay a heart, and now you would have 1 heart, and then you have to rely on finding an HP up or something. It's not a fun way to play at all, but paying for devil deals now allows you to bring that mechanic back into the game in a kind of topical way with the character's mechanics. I think it's brilliant. I think the character is fun, starting with triple shot. It just allows for a lot of different synergies on the run. And the character just feels, in my opinion, I think he's a lot of fun. So I'm putting him in A tier. People are going to riot, but that's where I want to put him. Lilith. Lilith, dude. Look, this is one of my more controversial ones. Lilith is a D tier character. Because I don't like relying on Incubus to deal my damage. I think that taking Lilith
That's how I know
and
he's
slapping
full of
Box
shit.
Friends
Can
on
use
him
this.
as an item is a little weak.
Dude,
I think
Lilith
that they
is
could've
so
made a
fucking fun to
better Box
play.
of Friends, right? Maybe activates in 2 rooms instead of 3, which I believe it is currently. Lilith needed some kind of buff to make her fun to play that wasn't just, hi, I picked up Isaac with Incubus, and by the way, I can't shoot, and I have Box of Friends, right? I don't take kindly to characters that just have an item slapped on them and said, right? And you may say, why did you rate Kane so highly? Because it's not really a gimmick item, right? It's not a gimmick item like Box of Friends and Incubus. It's just, here's a nice item, here's a simple character, play the Binding of Isaac, right? Lilith, you now have to rely on using Incubus, and Incubus it's not as simple as just shooting tears out of your head, and I don't find it as fun. So I put Lilith in D for that reason.
Crybaby.
You probably disagree, but I don't want to move her. I really don't want to move her from there. I like her in D. Maggie. Maggie is a C tier character. C tier character. I don't like Maggie either. It's another character where the gimmick isn't fun. She's supposed to be a little bit of a tank, which we see in basic characters as well. But I don't love the fact that it's just, here's a heal item. Also, her speed is abysmal, and then they changed her speed uphill in Repentance for some ungodly reason. So I'm just not really with it. I'm not really with it. I think it's a kind of slow and boring character to play. Samson is a B tier character, probably high B. Could be A. I mean, I'll put him low A, right? I'll put him low A. People like Samson. Getting hit gives you more damage. A little bit of a tank character, a little bit of a chaotic character. You can play super conservatively, and then if you're bad at the game, you're going to get damaged by being bad at the game. Or you could go chaos mode and slam yourself into spikes repeatedly to get a huge damage up to the floor, and then annihilate stuff. A bunch of different ways to play. Makes it fun, and it's at least an interesting item to pair with him Bloody Lust. I think it's pretty good. Let's go Eden next. I think this is Base Eden. Base Eden is, in my opinion, still the best character in the game. Highest S tier honor for me. I have Eden streaked for literally 6 years of my life. I think it's the best way to play Isaac, starting with 2 random items and having you be forced to deal with them and figure out how to designate them. It's the most fun way to play. I love it. And I'm looking forward to
2 items there. 2 items on your toe. If I go get monster, I only have 1 and too much.
Let's go Isaac next here. I think Isaac is probably still up there for the most fun characters in the game. Solely because getting rerolls allows you to build your run in a way that is the most fun for you. Right? If you don't like an item, reroll it. If If you don't like that item, re-roll it. If you like an item that's super strong, keep it. If you like an item but it's a little bit wonky, but you just want to try it, right? You can do that as well. It's a standard character. It's the character of the game. He is the binding, right? He's the binding. It's deserving of an S tier character. It can be a little boring. The runs can be a little bit powerful with Isaac. I still think it's probably if I had to pick a character to win a run as, I might take Isaac as that character. You know, life or death, gun at my head. Which character you take in the win or run? I'll probably take Isaac. But I think that it's still fun. The D6 is a fun item to use. So let's go Judas next. I think Judas is probably a little bit more fun than Samson for me. But I think that it's easy to flip Samson and Judas in the end. Judas is fun for one reason, right? He is a little scary to start with. 1 heart, and you have that increased damage. Book of Belial. Get a little, crazy damage going early on your run. It's a little bit of a, it falls under that other camp of you give him an item to start, and then that's the character, right? Which I don't care for, and it would bump him a little bit lower if I didn't like the stressful feeling you have by having 1 health from the round with the increased damage, right? It's a little bit of a glass cannon-y character. I like the risk. I think it's fun. So I'm looking at A tier. I'd probably, let me give Samson an edge right now. I think that's probably a little bit more. So we move on to Lazarus. Lazarus is a high C. I do like a lot of things about Lazarus. I want to actually make that. I like the extra life giving. I like the fact that it gives you extra life after you. It's a good character to start to play because it's an extra chance if you die. But it's also a good character for advancement, right? Because now you have to make that decision of, hey, when do I want to use that life? When do I want to use that life? If I do at all, right? That's the most advanced way you might want to get rid of that life. But
1 fucking
when do I
second
want
off,
to
dude.
give it up? And in my eyes, it's at that first devil deal, right? You try to spend all of your hearts to get it. But sometimes it can be sooner. Sometimes it can be a self-sacrifice. They're so much better. There's a lot of interesting decisions to make with it, but then the issue is that you make that decision once and then the rest of the character is boring. And that's why I don't love Lazarus. I am going to bump him up to a B. No, I'm going to keep him at C. I'm going to be honest. I was going to say because Anemic is a little bit more interesting in Repentance, but I still think the character is a little bit boring. After that initial death decision, it just plays like a pretty standard character. So I have to give the others the edge here. I don't really love Lazarus. So that is not all of them. We still have Azazel, who for me is a high D tier, above Lilith, above Apollyon, but high D tier. I don't like Brimstone
Bro, I'm not gonna listen.
as a
You
starting
sit here and
character.
talk shit about Azazel. Fuck that. Oh my god. don't think I should continue this one, but... No, come back. Come back, little cat. There's the blind. Just happy. Bruh. What? Oh, I can't do that, man. Fuck! Next level. No bomb, no sacrifice plays. Man, I'm fucking hate this game sometimes. What the fuck? What am I doing? How long have I been here? 2 hours, 40 minutes bullshitting? One night. I'll do this a couple times and fuck. Go imagine what it's like to but I go. Meto. What? There's 15 huge rooms. Come on, take it. Hair fell on me. Ah! Ah. It's happening. It's fucking happening. Jeez. Jeez, bro. That hit me. reinforcement. How many floors are mom for? Will I be alright? Oh my god, I wish I didn't scratch my arms and holy fucking hurt. You. That one didn't go for me. That one went directly for the money. That's fucked up. Holy fuck. Okay. I'm so tense right now. This is so fucking hard. Oh my god, that's the worst room I've ever seen. loud. I'm pretty close to unlocking the dude. I need to re-listen to what I need to do.
To beat that flaws boss labyrinth either. It has of Mumsh. Under 20 minutes. Okay, let's skip ahead to the boss rush. So we need to get to Mom in under 20 minutes and beat the boss rush. And you will get the head of Mom's shovel. Now you can more or less take your time. We need to go to the dark room. So always go down the hall to
The sacrifice room with a different active item will not let you do anything other than a devil or angel room and boss rush. The trapdoor to the womb is closed. Once you're in the boss rush, you can take any of the items. Now you need to beat the boss rush. It is important that for both the mom fight and boss rush that you have the shovel in your active item slot at the end of the fight. This is only important if you bought the backpack. Once you beat boss rush, the second half of the shovel will be your boss rush move. Once you pick it up, you'll have the full final step is to go to dark room, which is already messed up. The game only lets you pick up the next one. Once you're dark room, walking up the bridge, you'll see the soul flying up. It is important to wait for the soul to move. You'll see a pop up. You're officially forgotten to not have a start. The next character at the beginning of the video I the reason for this is
Oh my god.
If you have a goat head, the goat will always have a 100% chance to spawn. Lazarus. To unlock Lazarus,
I got the
you
whole
must
shovel.
find 4 more
I
souls
got
at
the whole
one
shovel.
time. The hardest part about unlocking
Alright.
Lazarus is keeping your soul really unlocked of jamming the item slot at the end of the fight. This is only important if you bought the backpack. Once you beat boss rush, the second half of the shovel will be your boss rush reward. Once you pick it up, you will have a whole shovel and the feet will stop stomping on you. The final step is to go to Dark Room, which is hard to mess up because the game only lets you pick up the negative and then makes you go to shield. Once in Dark Room, you're going to have to navigate the floor until you find a room with a grave in it. Walk on top of the grave and use the shovel. You will see the soul fly up off the screen. It is important you wait for the soul to leave the screen entirely. You will see a page pop up on the screen and say Forgotten Unlocked. You officially unlocked the Forgotten. The Forgotten does not have any starting items that can be unlocked. The next character is the Keeper. At the beginning of the video, I said the Keeper is one of the 3 hardest to unlock. The reason for this is not because you have to do any series of complicated or challenging steps. All you have to
Hold
do
on. What's my own shovel do? Can I use it to dig to the next bucket for it? That thing's invisible. That's not. God, I want to get out of here. Yeah, y'all. I didn't skip that shit, yeah.
will be your boss rush reward. Once you pick it up, you will have the whole shovel and the feet will stop stomping. The final step is to go to Dark Room, which is hard to mess up because the game only lets you pick up the negative and then makes you go to shield. Once in Dark Room, you're going to have to navigate the floor until you find the grave. Walk on top of the grave and use the shovel. You will see the soul fly up off the screen. It is important you wait for the soul to leave the screen entirely. You will see a page pop up on the screen and say Forgotten. You officially unlocked the Forgotten. The Forgotten does not have any starting items.
Come on.
The next
Come on.
character is the Keeper. At the beginning of the video, I said the Keeper is one of the 3 The reason for this
Bro, I
is
quit.
a series of
I'm done for
complicated,
tonight.
challenging steps.
That's it.
All you have to
I'll
do
do
is
it
donate
tomorrow.
1,000 coins
This
to
fucking
free
sucks,
donation.
bro. Oh my
The challenging
god.
part about this is you can only hold 99 coins. During
I'm
the
out.
fight,
If you're still watching,
you
thank
will
you for
make
tuning in. I'll be live again
anywhere
tomorrow
from
night
1
from
to 3
9